Vol 2, Chapter 282, Market Demand. Yuri Orlov flicked the ash from his cigarette, a smirk playing on his lips. If I've committed murder, then try me for murder. But don't. He shook his head, amused. Use this to make me talk. Qui-Gon Jinn laid a calming hand on Obi-Wan Kenobi's shoulder before addressing Yuri with a serene demeanor. The Second Civil War has erupted on the planet Celia. It's extensive, engulfing the entire world. Yuri's smile twisted oddly as he took a deep breath, his laughter bubbling up uncontrollably. Celia, a civil war. Ha! He attempted to compose himself, wiping his face but failed, succumbing to a fit of wild laughter. Oh, Jedi, you truly are a bunch of fucking geniuses. His mix of English and Galactic Standard nearly drove Obi-Wan to violence, but Qui-Gon restrained him. After his laughter subsided into violent coughing, Qui-Gon waved his hand, using the Force to clear Yuri's lungs of saliva. Obi-Wan, unable to hide his disdain, muttered, "I'd rather he choked." Yuri, catching his breath, said, "So the civil war on Celia, you think it's something to be quelled, not a reason to arrest me?" Obi-Wan slammed his fist onto the metal table, leaving a dent. "This is because of the seeds of civil war you've sown." "Me? Sow seeds?" Yuri feigned innocence. "You misunderstand. I'm merely an arms dealer, catering to a demand. If not me, then Yuri number 2, number 3, will emerge to satisfy the market. Arresting me only means you've found your scapegoat." Qui-Gon, ever patient, asked, "Why do you think Celia is in chaos?" Yuri extinguished his cigarette, lighting another. "The market has answered that. It's not about right or wrong." "And how do you propose we end this civil war?" Qui-Gon inquired. "Balance. War erupts when the balance of power is disrupted. The civil war will end once balance is restored." Yuri explained with a smirk. "The imbalance on Celia is your doing," Qui-Gon pointed out. Yuri offered a knowing look. "I disagree. I seek profit, nothing more. I don't dictate how my weapons are used. Whether it's Elder Dole, the Presbytery, or anyone else, my concern ends at the sale." "The Presbytery bought weapons from you?" Obi-Wan seized on the detail, incredulous. Yuri remained nonchalant, smoking in silence. Qui-Gon's voice hardened. "I want you to cease all arms trade to Celia." "Do you really think arresting me will end the civil war?" Yuri countered with a smile. "Give us a list of all merchants supplying weapons to Celia," Obi-Wan demanded, slamming the table again. Yuri shook his head. "Pointless. Celia has become a lucrative market, and many are vying for a piece." This chapter has been revised for clarity, flow, and coherence, ensuring a more engaging and understandable narrative. Frustrated, the interrogator declared, "If you refuse to speak, then you'll spend the rest of your life in prison, repenting for your actions." Yuri smiled confidently. "I doubt I'll be here for long. The Galactic Republic, the market, and most importantly, the planet Celia, they all need someone like me." "You're dreaming," the interrogator shot back. "Soon, I'll be acquitted due to insufficient evidence. It's not about my power, but rather demand," Yuri Orlov said with a meaningful smile, tapping on the table before the guards came in to escort him away. "Master, this detestable arms dealer is just toying with us. He's completely uncooperative." Obi-Wan Kenobi vented his frustration as they left. "I'm just concerned. What he said might actually be true," Qui-Gon Jinn remarked, gazing at the starry sky outside and sighing. "Even the Presbyterians have purchased weapons from him, and he will likely be acquitted soon." "We should have pressed him more about his connections with the Fourth Group," Obi-Wan suggested. "That's no longer important. What's crucial now is that the planet Celia may soon become a battleground for several major corporate giants." Qui-Gon Jinn explained, "We must inform Master Mundi immediately. The situation is escalating. Indeed, the situation on the planet Celia was spiraling out of control. After a period of consolidation, Elder Dole Fermi Bonmi amassed an army of over 20,000 and began marching towards Tekaf, the capital city of Celia. Within this formidable force, he had managed to equip more than 1,000 with assault rifles, creating a power that could not be easily dismissed. What was even more alarming was the inclusion of the giant security force. The 2,000-strong Kali army, led by Hakimi, was a force to be reckoned with. Recognizing their power, Elder Dole quickly agreed to hire them at a substantial salary, appointing Hakimi as the chief military advisor, responsible for the strategic direction of the military campaign. With Hakimi's leadership, they effortlessly defeated the Presbyterian army sent to quell the uprising, decapitating 2 elders in the process. Their advance seemed unstoppable, signaling a new era of turmoil for the planet Celia. Vol 2, Chapter 283, Acquitted. With the support of the elite Kali warriors and the renowned General Hakimi from the Giant God's security, Elder Dole advanced swiftly, covering the distance to a location 150 kilometers from the capital city of Takaf within a week, where he then established a camp. Surprisingly, Elder Dole's forces halted their advance in the days that followed. At this critical juncture, the elder of the Celia Presbyterian Church sensed impending doom. His forces had already been decimated by Elder Dole's army, while most of the other elders chose to either remain neutral or focus on strengthening their own factions. Despite the dire situation, the elder rallied the last of his forces to defend the city of Kaf and sent messengers to plead for assistance from the other elders leading troops. Most of the elders outright refused, recognizing that the current Great Elder's reign was nearing its end. However, one elder, named Laden, responded to the call. A relatively young elder at about 50 years old, Laden returned to Takaf City with an army of 15,000. To the Great Elder's astonishment, Laden's forces were armed with EE-3 blaster rifles from the Galactic Republic. Caught off guard, the Great Elder and his personal guard were swiftly eliminated by gunfire. With his technologically superior army, Elder Laden easily breached the defenses of Kaf City and seized control of the planet's capital. Following his victory, Elder Laden announced to the world the Great Elder's betrayal and declared the old Presbyterian system obsolete for Celia. He proposed the reformation of the Presbyterian Church into a think tank organization, positioning himself as the planet's first executive officer with unparalleled authority. Despite skepticism from many, Elder Laden's formidable army, equipped with over 10,000 EE-3 blaster rifles, quelled any immediate opposition. This development led to a temporary ceasefire across various regions, as people awaited the outcome in the capital. The Presbyterian Church, long advocating against technological advancements, had now ironically embraced them, undermining its own principles and shocking its followers. The revelation led to a rapid decline in morale among the Presbyterian troops, with desertions becoming rampant and uncontrollable. Elder Laden, undeterred, announced that while the ban on technological items would remain, his forces would continue to be armed with modern weaponry to ensure their combat effectiveness and prevent any resurgence of the technological movement. This statement, coming after Laden's armed takeover, seemed hypocritical and only added to the chaos. Furthermore, it was discovered that 2 other elders' armies were also equipped with modern weapons, albeit in smaller quantities. This development rendered the traditional cold weapon era obsolete and made a mockery of the Presbyterian Church's stance. The prestige of the Celia planet's elders was irreparably damaged, and the prospects for a peaceful reunification of the planet were shattered. As the situation spiraled further into chaos, it became evident that the power dynamics on Celia had forever changed, marking the beginning of a new and uncertain era. Chaos had begun to spread, and the tech movement army led by Dole Fermi Bonmi started to retreat. They abandoned the territories they had previously occupied and fell back to their castles, unable to maintain their hold. In response, Laden and 2 other elders who had revealed their modern weapons commenced their expansion efforts. With expansion came resistance. The fragmented tech movements and local warlords' small forces also rose to resist, leading to a tense battle situation. Subsequently, Elder Dole Fermi Bonmi made a public announcement at the castle about the reconstruction of the Celia Planet Presbyterian Church, henceforth known as the New Presbyterian Church. He declared that while the traditions of Celia Planet would remain unchanged, what needed to evolve was the populace's perception of technology products. According to him, technology should be utilized to enhance people's lives, not for destruction. This peaceful declaration gained widespread acceptance among the people and the international community. Following this, Elder Dole formally applied to the Galactic Republic, seeking recognition as the new elder of the presbytery. He announced that Celia Planet would lift its technology ban and expressed a willingness to import a batch of weapons with limited power to maintain order and restore peace and unity to the planet. Meanwhile, the fourth group, led by Gross Shelbia, acted swiftly. She announced that due to the escalating situation on Celia Planet, and in order to ensure the safety of the progressive and enlightened ruler, Elder Dole, the fourth group would export a batch of outdated Type 21 assault rifles to the planet. She emphasized that the choice of outdated weapons was to prevent Celia Planet from descending into an arms race. In Coruscant, the capital of the Galactic Republic, another noteworthy event unfolded. Yuri Orlov, an arms dealer previously arrested by the Jedi Order on Celia Planet for arms trafficking, hired a team of lawyers and filed a lawsuit against the Republic's Ministry of Justice, claiming innocence. He argued that since the elders of Celia Planet had violated their own technology ban, his actions of selling weapons on the planet were lawful. He contended that since Elder Dole, a representative of Celia Planet's highest administrative body, had purchased his weapons, his actions were officially sanctioned, and neither the Republic Congress nor the Jedi Order had the authority to intervene. The Republic Congress and corporate giants were thrilled about Celia Planet's opening. Phoenix Valorum, having lost faith in the Jedi Order, decisively distanced the Order from the matter. After deliberations, the Ministry of Justice of the Galactic Republic declared Yuri Orlov innocent and released him from detention. Upon hearing the news, Ki-Adi-Mundi, the Jedi Master of Celia Planet, was enraged to the point of nearly losing control of the Force. However, under Master Yoda's counsel, Master Mundi chose not to retreat into seclusion. Yuri Orlov, after evading the press, was about to enter his car when two cloaked figures blocked his path. Recognizing them, Yuri taunted, "Ah, if it isn't the genius himself, what charges will you invent to arrest me this time?" "I'll be watching you, I swear it," Obi-Wan Kenobi retorted, emphasizing each word. "Oh, I swear too. I'll be acquitted, remember? What can your oath possibly achieve?" Yuri Orlov teased, attempting to embrace Obi-Wan, who pushed him away. Raising his hands in a gesture of mock surrender, Yuri backed into the car, leaving behind a smug smile as he departed. Vol 2, Chapter 284, Brothers Against Each Other. In the heart of Tatooine, within the opulent confines of Jabba's palace, a scene of casual decadence unfolded. "You're back, Santa Claus," Ivantamon remarked, his massive frame barely contained by the sofa as he reveled in the attentions of two maids. Across from him, Yuri Olaf lounged with an air of sardonic amusement, his legs crossed in a display of relaxed confidence. No sooner had he settled than two Twi'lek maids approached, their hands moving with practiced grace to massage his shoulders and neck. The delicate scent of their perfume enveloped him, prompting a deep, appreciative breath. In a moment of impulsive affection, Yuri captured the hand of one maid, drawing her close for a kiss that spoke of careless indulgence. After a brief moment, he gently pushed her away, his focus returning to the matter at hand. "Okay, dear Meng, I only have 5 minutes for you. How stands the situation on Celia Planet now?" "The opportunity is ripe. The fourth group has intervened in the civil war on Celia. The planet has completely lifted its technology ban, allowing us free entry," Ivantamon explained with a slow, deliberate cadence. "And our relationship with the third planet and the fourth group?" Yuri inquired, his smile light but curious. "I occasionally procure items from them," Yuri admitted with a nonchalant shrug. "What of planet Celia, then?" "It's a promising place indeed. No worries. As long as we steer clear of provoking the fourth group, they won't trouble me," Yuri assured, his attention briefly diverted as the maid made her exit. "Other corporations are also eyeing the arms market on Celia," Ivantamon added, a hint of caution in his voice. Turning to face him, Yuri's smile broadened. "So, here's to a fruitful collaboration." Elsewhere, within the vastness of the Endor galaxy, aboard the Mothership of the Glory, a different kind of meeting took place. "You've outdone yourself, Darth Marthael," Darth Plagueis commended through the holographic projection, his presence dominating the room. "The situation on planet Celia is unfolding splendidly." "All thanks to your guidance, Master," Tang Xiao responded, kneeling in a gesture of respect and humility. "The fourth group thrives under your leadership. You've proven to be an invaluable asset. I'm quite pleased," Darth Plagueis continued, his voice carrying a note of satisfaction. "With several arms dealers now active on Celia, including trade and corporate alliances, I can assist you in managing them." If we conclude the war too swiftly, our profits will suffer. In the arms trade, it's advantageous to supply both sides, Tang Xiao reasoned, his strategic mindset evident. I admire your perspective. Very well, the Cilia matter is yours to handle. However, there's another issue. Jedi Master Ki-Adi-Mundi is on the brink due to the force's imbalance from Cilia's civil unrest. You know what must be done, Darth Plagueis instructed. Arrangements have been made. While Master Mundi may not be in seclusion, his family remains on Cilia, Tang Xiao replied, a sinister smile playing at his lips. On Cilia planet, within a fortress, a reunion unfolded under the shadow of conflict. Vitali, my brother, I knew you wouldn't abandon me. Ha! Brothers in arms! Yuri Olaf exclaimed, his face etched with the wear of recent events, as he embraced Vitali Olaf, who seemed aged beyond his years. Vitali's response, however, was cold. A civil war erupted on Cilia, just as you desired, brother. Yesterday, Elder Leiden's forces stormed Kedi City, slaughtering over 30,000 inhabitants. Yuri's jovial demeanor vanished, replaced by a grim realization. This is a tragedy. Do you now grasp the consequences of your actions? Vitali finally met Yuri's gaze, his voice heavy with reproach. Indeed, if only the people of Kedi City had sufficient arms for their defense, this disaster could have been averted, Yuri argued with fervent conviction. Is that truly what you believe? Vitali's anger surged, his hands gripping Yuri's collar as he shouted, I vowed to protect those people by arming them. Yuri smiled, raising his hands in a gesture of peace. You see, the safety of the people is paramount. Protected and financially secure, I've amassed enough wealth to meet my needs, Yuri Orlov declared. Your weapons only lead to more deaths. Vitali countered vehemently. Even without my involvement, they would still turn to trade unions, then to corporate unions, only to have their earnings seized by these corporate behemoths. Is that justice? With me, they can afford more arms for the same amount of money. At least I offer them a 50% discount. You're despicable, Yuri, Vitali said, shaking his head, his eyes brimming with sorrow as he looked at Yuri. And yet you heed the words of the administrator, now the governor, who claims that a galaxy-wide war is imminent. We cannot escape this reality, Vitali. Yuri's usual frivolity vanished as he spoke with gravity. So, you're willing to dedicate your life to his cause based on mere words? I still can't fathom how I ended up on that damned mothership, Vitali cursed. My beliefs align with his, Vitali. Consider our past and where we stand today. It took him less than 3 years to achieve his current status. Why shouldn't we follow him? Yuri argued, spreading his arms wide. Damn you, Yuri, Vitali snapped, pushing him aside and walking away. Where are you going? Yuri called out. Vitali continued without a word, heading towards the spaceship. Hey, stop! Come back! We're brothers in arms! Yuri shouted, but Vitali turned sharply, pointing at Yuri, and yelled, To hell with the fourth group! To hell with Tang Xiao! You're all monsters, butchers, executioners! Yuri, deeply frustrated, shook his head and rubbed his forehead, at a loss for words. He'll return, don't worry, Elder Dole said, appearing beside Yuri and placing a comforting hand on his shoulder. Remember, you're the omnipotent Santa Claus. It's time to end this civil war. Leave me alone, Yuri snapped, brushing Elder Dole's hand aside. We'll always stand with you, Santa Claus. I've awaited this moment, Yvette Mon declared. I'll take care of some matters on planet Cilia. Clear the path. He casually turned off the communicator, having been in conversation just moments before. A holographic projection briefly showed a young woman from Cilia. Planet Cilia is ours. We won't allow any interference. Vol 2, Chapter 285, The Strongest Fighting Race. As chaos engulfed planet Cilia, another world teetered on the brink of a massive conflict. Previous skirmishes, such as the Battle of Malethal Fjord, the Tatooine Dispute, the Kali Yamre War, the Eliadu Business Summit riot, and the Saria incident, had all threatened the Galactic Republic's stability. However, none spelled doom as clearly as the current crisis. This time, the Republic seemed to have no escape, marching inexorably towards its demise, which would be hastened by the Battle of Naboo a year later, leading to its ultimate collapse. At the heart of this impending war was the planet Injoris. Following a failed investment in the Injoli people, Tang Xiao, recognizing the inevitability of conflict on Injoris, increased the purchase limit for Injoli from 2 million to 20 million credit points. He hoped to profit from his foresight, but the Injoli, a race of formidable warriors, saw his generosity not as a gesture of goodwill, but as a sign of weakness. Furthermore, Shen Yuan Hao, an officer of the Fourth Group, discovered that the Injoli had fallen under the influence of Darth Sidious, the formidable Sith Lord, making any outside intervention futile. Thus, the 20 million credit points seemed wasted, as the Injoli neither appreciated nor remembered the assistance provided. Despite this setback, Tang Xiao remained interested in the Injoli, a race identified by Darth Plagueis as possessing the galaxy's strongest physical fitness and combat instincts. After sharing research data and specimens with Dilar, a Kali general from Titan Security, Dilar concluded that he could only face 2 or 3 Injoli at most without risking his life. Given Dilar's prowess among the Yamray, this assessment highlighted the Injoli's exceptional combat capabilities, equating each warrior to a humanoid armored vehicle. A shuttle approached Injolis, passing 3 large space stations orbiting the barren planet. These stations, though crudely constructed from what appeared to be scrap metal, bristled with turrets. Known as Yithith, Yibikoror, and Uhanayi, these were the Injoli's outer space military bases. The shuttle, bearing the Fourth Group's identification code, was allowed to land. As it descended, a group of Injoli, clad in combat armor and equipped with flapping flight systems resembling insect wings, flew around the shuttle. They jeered in their native language, showcasing their agility and the impressive capabilities of their gear. Upon landing, these towering figures, each over 2.5 meters tall, surrounded the disembarking passengers, their imposing presence akin to giants encircling a dwarf. "Our leader Zam has made it clear," one of the Injoli began, his voice booming. "Unless your Fourth Group agrees to expand our trade quota, you will no longer be welcome here. To set foot on our planet," an Injoli shouted loudly. "Or perhaps we should visit your hometown and take what we want ourselves," another Injoli added. Their laughter filled the air, and then, as if to demonstrate their strength, another Injoli strode forward and delivered a punch to the shuttle, leaving a noticeable dent in its outer armor. "Don't worry, I've been brought in to handle this situation," the man responded with a nod. He was no ordinary individual. He was a legendary explorer, specially summoned by Tang Xiao to address the Injoli threat. After their display of intimidation, the Injolis eventually dispersed. Kunte's expression turned serious. He gestured towards the spaceship door and announced, "Come out, they're gone." A Rhodian emerged, identified as the mechanic Kenneth, who was gripping a blaster pistol tightly. "These people are terrifying. Are we really going to work on such a daunting planet?" he questioned. Following Kenneth, a young man in his 20s stepped off the spaceship. But these Injolis don't seem too intelligent, which suggests that if there is a creator, they believe in fairness. His ability to remain composed, especially in the face of such adversaries as the Injoli, was remarkable, even for someone his age. "Seeing how you handled yourself, it's clear that our encounter at the bar on planet Corellia wasn't for nothing. At least it led us to our new member, George Cardass," Munter said, clapping the young man on the shoulder. "Where's Quinto? Why hasn't he come out yet?" "He's holed up in the toilet and won't come out," George Cardass replied, pointing inside the spacecraft. "Forget it. Let's abandon this shuttle and return on Shen Yuanhao's spaceship," Kunte declared loudly towards the cabin door. "Wait a minute. Don't leave me behind," a voice called from inside the spaceship. Quinto then emerged, trembling. "Let's go, Munter. This place is no place for humans. Those Injoli can crush me to death with just one finger." "The strongest fighting race in the galaxy is indeed formidable," Munter acknowledged, shaking his head. "But don't worry. This time, we're here to tame this beast. This task should be for a Jedi Knight. Only the most powerful warriors can tame the most formidable beasts." Quinto continued to shiver with fear. "Let's go," Munter urged, pulling Quinto along. The advancement of civilization has never been about brute strength, but about intellect. In the distance, several large armored vehicles hovered towards them, followed by a sleek sedan. The doors opened, and more than 20 robust Injoli warriors stepped out from the armored vehicles. However, from the sedan emerged a man dressed in a suit and leather shoes, his expression stern. This was Shen Yuanhao, the representative of the Fourth Group stationed on planet Injoli. ready to face the challenges ahead with a blend of diplomacy and strategy. Vol 2, Chapter 286, Cigar Stimulants. Shen Yuanhao, followed by more than 20 warriors from the Injoli tribe, made Quinto's face turn pale. Quinto timidly followed behind, whispering, "Is this man the representative of the fourth group that has been on the Injoli planet all this time? Is he also a monster?" Shen Yuanhao nodded at Quinto and his group, introducing them to the tribe. "This is the Juha tribe, which is relatively more open to communication," he explained. An Injoli warrior approached and demanded, "The fourth group, what about the items you promised to bring?" "We were originally planning to deliver them to Zam," Munter replied. At the mention of Zam, the Injoli warrior became visibly agitated. "Then take me to Zam, before I tear you to pieces." Munter raised his hand in a calming gesture. "Don't worry, we all know that Zam is the largest tribe on Injoli and can offer the most. However, since my friend is here, I'm giving you the priority. But first, you must tell me what you can offer that Zam cannot." The Injoli warrior roared, "Insolent weakling, how dare you negotiate terms with us?" Seeing the tension, Quinto and Kenneth immediately knelt down in fear. Munter, unfazed, took out a cigar and offered it, saying, "Before you drive me away, why not try this?" "Are you mocking me? I demand weapons, not this useless stick," the warrior bellowed, but upon catching the scent of the cigar, his demeanor changed. "Give me that stick!" Quinto handed over a lighter, and Munter showed the Injoli how to light the cigar. Taking a deep inhale, the warrior's eyes turned red, and he let out a triumphant yell. "Ah, this is incredible, so exhilarating." He punched a nearby rock, shattering it to pieces, and exclaimed, "I feel stronger than before." After quickly finishing the cigar, he turned on one of his comrades, landing a powerful punch that sent the other reeling. The fight was brief. The cigar-empowered Injoli easily overpowered his opponent. The surrounding warriors watched, seemingly entertained by the spectacle. Panting, the warrior demanded more cigars, his agitation not from exhaustion, but from an unquenchable thirst for more. "These are not mere sticks. They're called cigars," Munter corrected him with a smile. "However, I'm supposed to deliver these to the Zam tribe, who can offer a high price." "I can offer whatever Zam can. If not, I'll kill you," the warrior threatened. Munter replied calmly, "Killing me would be easy, but then you'd lose the chance to have more cigars." Quinto and Kenneth were too terrified to even look at the Injoli warriors. "Follow me," the warrior decided, convinced that the Juha tribe should be the sole recipients of such powerful sticks. Back on the spacecraft, Shen Yuanhao discussed with Quinto, "The Juha tribe is the best partner for our endeavors on planet Injoli. Their appetite for power is indeed vast." Quinto, smiling, added, "It seems the Juha tribe holds a grudge against the Zam tribe." Shen Yuanhao nodded. The Juha tribe once ruled the capital of Injoli, Torcahan, but ever since Zam gained power, the dynamics have shifted. From the moment they were born, their lives have been fraught with difficulty. Numerous attempts by the Zam tribe to challenge them have ended in failure. It's well known that the Injoli people admire strength, leading to the Juha tribe, perceived as weak, being ostracized and subsequently declining in power and influence, Shen Yuanhao explained. "So they're working hard, aiming to dethrone the Zam tribe one day?" Kunte mused, stroking his chin with a chuckle. Shen Yuanhao's response was a cold smile. "That's precisely why the Juha tribe is so eloquent now. They're aware of their current weakness, so if they wish to challenge the strong, they must exert extra effort. They still possess this self-awareness. Moreover, their past prosperity in Thor Hajun City has made them one of the wealthier tribes among the Injoli." He glanced at the armored vehicle floating above the ground in front of him, his smile turning colder. "But air current ease in negotiations doesn't guarantee future success. If they manage to overthrow the Zam tribe, their ambition might grow unchecked. Such is the nature of the Injoli people. They view plundering as a legitimate means of acquiring wealth. They survive the harsh conditions of the Injoli planet by looting and pillaging, which has allowed their population to reach the hundreds of thousands. Aren't you concerned about associating with such savages?" Villager inquired. "What do I have to fear?" Shen Yuanhao responded indifferently. "With the strength of these Injoli people, they could easily tear you apart," Villager pointed out. "But the end result is death, making them no more threatening than a gang of armed thugs, Shen Yuanhao retorted. That's a fair point. I'm beginning to understand why the governor appointed you to oversee the Injoli people, Villager said with a laugh. Shen Yuanhao then asked, I'm curious, do cigars really have such a significant effect on the Injolis? It's somewhat akin to Dupin or the spices of this world. They act as stimulants but don't actually enhance their strength. The governor has been studying the Injolis for quite some time and seems to believe there's a way to exploit this race. The biology lab he established is reportedly working tirelessly to develop new drugs for the Injolis, Villager explained. Drugs? Shen Yuanhao frowned, puzzled. They're addictive, Munter clarified, clapping him on the shoulder. If we can't tame them, we'll control them in a different manner. Vol 2, Chapter 287, The Juha Tribe. Shen Yuanhao observed the village with a discerning eye and nodded slightly. I'm beginning to understand the governor's strategy of employing such tactics to manipulate the Injolis. I believe his intentions extend beyond merely addicting the Injoli people to drugs. Otherwise, he wouldn't have established a dedicated department for its research, Kun Te remarked as he retrieved a cigar from the box behind him and passed it to Shen Yuanhao. Shen Yuanhao deftly caught the cigar between two fingers, his brow furrowing as he asked, Isn't this laced with something? The additives haven't been determined yet. This is just an ordinary cigar, a specialty from Zalo City. The Injoli's unique reaction to cigars stems from their physiological makeup, specifically a gland in their central nervous system that reacts intensely to nicotine, Munter explained, then added, By the way, you have impressive skills. Were you in the military? Accountant, Shen Yuanhao replied, lighting the cigar and inhaling deeply. An accountant? You hardly fit the image. Your scars suggest a history of many battles, the villager commented with a chuckle. I've had my share of conflicts in the past, but life eventually steered me towards accounting. I even ended up teaching at an accounting school, Shen Yuanhao shared, his tone matter-of-fact. It seems a career change was beneficial for you. The villager trailed off, unsure of what to say next. Upon their arrival in an Injoli city, Yuha confronted an Injoli warrior, loudly declaring, I'll handle this spaceship. Anyone daring to tamper with its contents will answer to me. He then turned to the villager. Let's go meet our chief. This is the Juha tribe. You share their name, yet you're not the chief, Village Special inquired. I oversee battles. The chief manages knowledge, Yuha replied curtly, leading them to the city hall at the city's center. The architecture of the Injoli was modest, rarely exceeding 3 stories, due to their sparse population and abundant land. The scarcity of resources on the Injoli planet precluded the construction of taller buildings. The city hall, a 3-story structure made from a durable mix of metal and stone powder, stood as the city's tallest building. Inside, they encountered Injoli people unlike any others. These individuals were slender, robed rather than armored, and many wore glasses. They were engaged in intellectual pursuits, reading, browsing the web, or reviewing documents. This is our chief, the sage responsible for knowledge, Yuha introduced, then proceeded to distribute cigars among the wise men. Soon, the hall was filled with smoke as they indulged in the cigars. I had always pictured the Injolis as simple brutes, George Cardus whispered to Munter. The Injoli possess a nascent interstellar civilization, with technology slightly surpassing that of the Murai. Such advancements aren't the work of mere brutes, the villager responded. As the wise men enjoyed their cigars, their mood was not one of aggression, but of joy, marked by laughter, singing, and dancing. After some time, Yuha approached them. The chief has approved the cigars, pending further tests. Now, what is it you seek? Munter smiled subtly. Zam's next move involves raiding a shipyard in a nearby galaxy, correct? Yuha's demeanor instantly became guarded. That's none of your concern. Relax, I'm aware that the Injoli have formed a war alliance. When it comes to large-scale conflicts abroad, you set aside personal vendettas and act in the interest of the entire Injoli race. Munter expressed his disinterest in halting their expansion, focusing instead on the potential spoils of their conquests. I'm only interested in the spoils because that's how I make my money, he stated plainly. After a moment of contemplation, Yuha conferred with the elders and returned with a decision. We're planning to attack a shipyard. There, we can acquire a fleet of spaceships. However, the specifics are better left unsaid. That's fine. C, the shipyard is under our control. You're free to use the spaceships as you wish. But the shipyard itself must be surrendered to me. Munter negotiated, offering a long-term supply of cigars as compensation. Yuha, standing firm, declared, once captured, the shipyard will belong to all of Injoris. Neither Zam nor our Juha tribe can claim it solely. Munter chuckled. I didn't expect you to hand it over immediately after victory. Just secure your position there. When Zam can no longer manage, that's when you transfer the shipyard to me. For now, enjoy a generous supply of cigars. After some thought, Yuha agreed, emphasizing, cigars, and plenty of them. Munter revealed he had brought 500,000 cigars, more than enough for Yuha's tribe of 12,000, ensuring a long-lasting supply. That night, Yuha, cigar in mouth, led a group of his men to challenge a neighboring Injoli tribe. Without any sense of guilt, he and his men overpowered the tribe's warriors. In the Injoli culture, if one has the strength to conquer today, there's no reason to wait until tomorrow. The Injoli people, known for their unique constitution, rarely encountered stimulants as potent as cigars. Over the following days, Yuha leveraged the cigars to subdue several neighboring tribes, reclaiming some of his former glory from the days he ruled over the capital city of Thor Kahan. Their battles, fought with bare hands and without weapons, were a testament to their traditions of tribal challenges and skirmishes. Meanwhile, a more pressing issue emerged for the Injoli people, landing squarely on Tang Xiao's desk. Zam, desperate for a spaceship, appeared via holographic projection in Tang Xiao's communicator, his demand echoing urgently. I need a spaceship. The fourth group. Give me the spaceship now. We'll use our spoils as collateral. Vol 2, Chapter 288, Invasion. Tang Xiao, still cloaked and hooded, used the force to obscure his face. He frowned, reflecting on the change in Zam's behavior. Previously, Zam's concerns seemed limited to frivolous pursuits. Whenever he negotiated with the fourth group, he was full of empty promises about repaying debts once he struck it rich. But now, Zam had proposed using loot as collateral, signaling a shift towards more concrete plans. This change indicated that the Injoli people were moving towards the final stages of their operation. We have already loaned you 20 million for arms, Tang Xiao stated calmly. We will not proceed with further negotiations until you demonstrate a genuine capacity to repay. Do you doubt the Injoli's ability to generate wealth? Ha! Just look at those weaklings in Nasada. Given the chance, no one in the galaxy can stand against us, Injoli. Zam laughed boisterously. And if you do make money, will you repay us? Tang Xiao asked, his tone indifferent. That depends on whether you're truly our friends, Zam replied with a sly grin. Oh, of course, we're friends. Who wouldn't want to ally with the mighty Injoli? Rest assured, I'll arrange for a fleet of transport ships immediately, Tang Xiao responded, his voice tinged with irony. I'll be eagerly awaiting your friendly gesture. Ha! Zam laughed heartily. After ending the communication, Tang Xiao contacted Gross Shelbia, the current representative of the fourth group. Purchase 20 transport ships from the black market. We have no requirements for quality, as long as they're operational. Is it for the Injoli again? Gross Shelbia sighed, massaging her forehead. We should write off this investment as a loss. Continuing to pour resources into it is unwise. If you wish for someone's downfall, first drive them to madness, Tang Xiao replied, a smile in his voice. But the fall of the Injoli doesn't concern us, does it? She questioned. On the contrary, it has everything to do with us. 1 month later, the fourth group had 20 inexpensive transport ships and 5 battered armed cargo vessels from the black market of Nasada, spending a total of about 3 million. During this time, the Injoli people began amassing troops, with the entire race gearing up for war. The Yuha tribe, having been invigorated by a super stimulant, had conquered neighboring tribes one by one. The dynamics among the Injoli tribes were competitive and hostile. Disputes were settled through combat, with the victor dictating terms. The Juha tribe's influence had grown significantly, and they had recently shifted their focus entirely to war preparations. The Injoli understood that external conquest was the key to their development. Despite their internal conflicts, they would unite against external threats. With the ships in place, the Injoli finally launched their campaign. Their target was the Nis galaxy. Dozens of transport ships filled with Injoli warriors descended upon this remote galaxy with ferocity. At the Galactic Republic's capital, Coruscant, in the Galactic Parliament building, an urgent message was delivered to Speaker Finis Valorum. The Injoli have initiated a raid on the Nis galaxy? What's going on? Valorum exclaimed, visibly shaken. Can't these races ever pause their hostilities? His frustration was understandable. Since the Battle of Malastar Fjord, the galaxy had been plagued by endless disputes and conflicts. Valorum had been preoccupied with the crisis on planet Jebum, where a deadly brain plague had led to a trade embargo and halted all airship traffic. This had left Jebum in dire straits, struggling with a scarcity of essential supplies, including food. In the midst of a devastating brain plague that claimed tens of millions of lives within just 3 months, planet Jebum found itself in dire straits. Desperate for assistance, they reached out to the Republic for support. However, the Republic was grappling with its own losses, having lost an entire fleet of blades to the same plague. Chance, Lord Phoenix Valorum, was caught in a difficult position. He wanted to express the Republic's own struggles, but pride and the need to maintain the Republic's dignity prevented him from doing so. The representative from planet Jebum warned Valorum that without timely support from the Republic, a civil war was imminent on Jebum. The current government's survival was uncertain in the face of such turmoil. Valorum, though frustrated, could only assure the representative that the Republic would do its utmost to provide support. The representative left in anger, his desperation evident, leaving Valorum with a heavy heart and a sense of helplessness. Amidst this crisis, news of the Injoli people's aggressive invasion of the Nis galaxy reached Valorum, igniting his fury. Determined to address this new threat, he summoned Shiv Palpatine and Deputy Speaker Mas Amedda to his office. Valorum's anger was palpable as he informed them of the Injoli invasion. Palpatine, taking the situation seriously, explained that the Injoli, known for their cruelty and propensity for aggression, lacked the capability for intergalactic transport on their own. He speculated that their target was the Golden Nice shipyard, operated by a company called Xin, which catered to bounty hunters and mercenaries. This shipyard, known for its illegal modifications and conversions of ships into armed vessels, could provide the Injoli with over 50 spaceships if they managed to take control. Valorum, unfamiliar with Xin Company, was taken aback by this revelation. Palpatine further explained that the Injoli's sudden capability for invasion was likely due to support from an external source, hinting at information provided by the Fourth Group. A sneer crossed Palpatine's face as he shared this intelligence, suggesting deeper layers of intrigue and manipulation at play. This situation highlighted the complex web of challenges facing the Republic, from internal crises and external threats to the shadowy dealings of unregistered entities like Xin Company. Valorum, faced with these daunting challenges, had to navigate the treacherous political landscape, balancing the need for immediate action against the Injoli with the ongoing struggle to support planets like Jebum amidst a devastating plague. Vol 2, Chapter 289, Taking Action. The Fourth Group? Them again. Phineas Valorum's memory was suddenly jogged by the mention of the Fourth Group. He recalled that on the first day of the previous Eliadu Business Summit, there had been rumors about a group using combat footage of the Galactic Republic fleet for advertising purposes, and now it was clear that the Fourth Group was involved once more. Does this mean that the Injoli's recent act of aggression was supported by the Fourth Group? Phoenix Valorum felt a surge of indignation. They dare to engage in such audacity. Summon the representatives of the Fourth Group immediately. I want them here now. The involvement of the Fourth Group is one issue, but the pressing matter is how we address the Injoli's invasion, Palpatine interjected. Send an official warning to the Injoli immediately. If they fail to withdraw, they will face the full wrath of the Galactic Republic. Valorum declared with authority. Indeed, considering the Injoli have disabled their hyperspace communication frequencies, we should dispatch an envoy, Palpatine suggested. Do you have someone in mind for this task, Senator Palpatine? Valorum inquired. Or perhaps this time we should entrust the mission to the Jedi Order's envoys. Their mediation was instrumental in resolving the conflict between Kali and Yamre. At this juncture, Your Excellency, that would not be advisable. The Xene Company is operating outside the law and does not enjoy the protections of the Republic's constitution, leaving no room for Jedi intervention. Thus, I recommend we send a diplomatic envoy, Palpatine clarified. And who would you suggest we send? I believe Counselor Queenus of the Ando Galaxy would be an excellent choice, Palpatine proposed without hesitation. As a counselor from an outer rim planet, Queenus possesses the eloquence and diplomacy needed to persuade the Injoli. Very well, Amida. Prepare an official statement, Valorum directed his deputy speaker, Masamida, who had remained silent until then. Yes, Your Excellency. At that moment, the office door opened, and Gross Shelby, the representative of the fourth group, entered, offering a respectful salute to Valorum, Amida, and Palpatine. Your Excellency, Speaker, did you wish to see me? The fourth group's business dealings have been quite extensive, Valorum began, his tone betraying his anger. Under the Republic's benevolent guidance, the fourth group has flourished. We are committed to contributing even more to the Republic's prosperity, Shelby responded, his reply demonstrating a high level of emotional intelligence and etiquette. I have no doubt about that. For instance, your assistance to the Injoli in their aggressive campaign has been most helpful, Valorum retorted icily. Shelby was momentarily taken aback by the accusation. I'm not sure I follow, Your Excellency, Speaker. The Injoli launched an invasion of the Nice Galaxy a few days ago, utilizing transport ships provided by your fourth group. Furthermore, the weapons they wielded were also supplied by you, Valorum accused sharply. Shelby bowed slightly before responding, Your Excellency, Speaker, while it is true that we sold weapons and transport ships to the Injoli, such transactions are standard business practices. If someone uses a fruit knife to commit a crime, should the manufacturer of the knife be held responsible? Is profit the only thing you businessmen see? Can't you recognize the Injoli's aggressive tendencies? You didn't sell a fruit knife to a commoner. You armed a known criminal, one with a propensity for violence. You are complicit in their actions. Valorum countered vehemently. Your Excellency, Speaker, I believe there is a way to resolve this. Enough. The fourth group will face sanctions, and you will be held directly accountable for the consequences of the Injoli's war of aggression. Valorum interrupted. If that is the case, I insist that this matter be discussed openly in the Galactic Council, Shelby replied, his tone turning for Seer Osti, recognizing that further discussion was futile. First, consider how you will answer to the victims of the invasion. Out you go. I must devise a plan to rescue those caught in the crossfire of the war you've ignited. Phoenix Valorum scolded, forcefully ushering Shelby out. As Gross Shelby's figure receded, a subtle sneer curled the corner of Shiv Palpatine's mouth. Gross Shelby hastened from the Parliament building, diving into her hovercar. To the mansion of MP Underwood, quickly, she urged the driver. The vehicle sped towards the residence of Dawn Planet Councilor Francis Underwood, arriving with startling speed. Upon entering, Shelby found Underwood in conversation with Claire Underwood. Under the guise of the Outer Rim Mutual Aid Fund, we aim to aid the planet Jabim. This presents an excellent chance to extend our influence in the Outer Rim. Miss Shelby, what brings you here so unexpectedly? Francis Underwood glanced at Douglas Stamp, Shelby's chief of staff, with a hint of displeasure. Stamp offered an innocent shrug. Given Shelby's high status and their close relationship, he felt no obligation to bar her entry. After hearing Shelby's explanation, Francis shook his head. Firstly, you shouldn't have brought this matter up in Parliament, and secondly, coming directly to me was ill-advised. If I'm not mistaken, the information you're so eager to discuss is likely already on Senator Palpatine's desk. Despite her youth, at around 30, Shelby was highly capable and intelligent. She instantly grasped the gravity of the situation, her complexion paling. Oh no. This time, it seems I'm truly in trouble. It's all right. Since you're here, let's discuss why Senator Palpatine has targeted us, Francis said calmly. Claire, understanding the mood, poured champagne and distributed glasses to everyone. Shelby took a sip, her nerves settling. We've always proceeded with caution. Whether it's arms or transport aircraft, our dealings have been through official channels. Such transactions are commonplace in the galaxy. Yet Chancellor Valorum has kept a close eye on us. It's clear that Senator Palpatine seized the moment to push you into the spotlight during Valorum's outrage. This was a calculated move, and you couldn't have avoided it, Francis said, leaning back comfortably. The question is, why? I honestly have no idea. Among all the individuals I've encountered, Senator Palpatine is by far the most inscrutable. If not for the governor's warning, I doubt I would have grasped his true nature. So it's difficult for either of us to discern his motives, Francis mused. This arms deal, it originated from the Governor-General, didn't it? That's correct. Then, you should seek answers from the governor directly. Vol 2, Chapter 290, The Loyal Apprentice. Palpatine? Tang Xiao furrowed his brow, pondering the situation. He really shouldn't be meddling with us at this juncture. Yet, the unexpected has occurred. It's evident that Speaker Valorum's sudden engagement with us is Palpatine's doing, Gross Shelby explained, concern lacing her voice. And my prior request for an open debate in Parliament might exacerbate our predicament, mightn't it? Tang Xiao offered a reassuring smile. Exacerbate? How so? This situation presents us with an opportunity. I fail to grasp your meaning, Governor, Shelby admitted, her confusion apparent. In the upcoming parliamentary discussions, confront Finis Valorum openly and disregard any repercussions. Should the Republic propose any sanctions, reject them outright. Let them send a fleet to Makataw if they dare. Remember, the Fourth Group's headquarters is registered in Makido, the stronghold of the Interstellar Banking Association, Tang Xiao instructed with a strategic grin. Shelby nodded in understanding. I see. Regarding Dawn Planet, Frank is well aware of what needs to be done. Proceed as planned, Tang Xiao confirmed with a nod. After the communication ended, Gross Shelby voiced her concerns to Francis Underwood. If we follow through with this plan, I fear the Fourth Group will attract widespread condemnation. What of it? Criticism is inconsequential. The governor's strategy is astute. Consider the current state of the Republic and Finis Valorum's position. You may find that this ordeal actually garners us additional allies, Francis Underwood reassured her with a knowing smile. But the public debate? Shelby hesitated. Indeed, our position is precarious, and it may be challenging to recover from this, Francis acknowledged. The Galactic Republic's doors are closing on us. This, I presume, aligns with Palpatine's intentions. In the secret office aboard the Mothership Glory, Tang Xiao expressed his confusion to the holographic projection of Darth Plagueis. Your Highness, Darth Sidious's attack on our Fourth Group has left me bewildered. He is merely testing my resolve, Darth Plagueis responded coolly. The ascendancy of the Fourth Group has prompted him to question whether I harbor additional forces in the shadows. He seeks to ascertain the depth of my affiliation with the Fourth Group. As the Lord's apprentice, his approach seems overly cautious, Tang Xiao remarked, a hint of indignation in his tone. As a Sith, his foresight surpasses yours. He contemplates scenarios you have yet to consider. In a way, his actions are not without merit. However, this incident will likely complicate the Fourth Group's operations within the Republic, Darth Plagueis mused, shaking his head. I remain convinced that by following in the Lord's footsteps, no force in the galaxy can thwart my path, Tang Xiao declared, his loyalty unwavering. Although Darth Sidious may outmatch you, your allegiance endears you to me. Yet, you needn't worry excessively. The Fourth Group is under my protection. I won't allow my assets to suffer, Darth Plagueis assured him, observing Tang Xiao's reaction closely. Tang Xiao remained composed. To him, the Fourth Group was legally Darth Plagueis's, or Hego Damask II's, property. He harbored no resentment or frustration over this fact. Rather, he accepted it as natural. His sole ambition was to serve under Hego Damask, aspiring to nothing beyond that. This unwavering loyalty astounded Hego Damask. It was rare to encounter someone so devoted, willing to relinquish everything without a second thought. Such individuals usually lacked competence, but Tang Xiao was far from inept. Despite not possessing Darth Sidious's cunning, his fidelity was unparalleled. He was a man of immense talent, particularly in harnessing the Force. His skills were not limited to this alone. He was also rapidly advancing in other areas. The thought that someone as gifted as Tang Xiao would willingly submit to him puzzled He. He had never entertained the thought of his own mortality. In his mind, Death was an impossibility. He was convinced that no one possessed the power to end his life. However, Tang Xiao's unwavering loyalty meant that Hige could put his doubts aside. He instructed, the fourth group should focus on expanding our operations towards the outer ring of the star area, keep a low profile, and prioritize building our infrastructure. Soon, trade unions, interstellar banking enterprises, industry associations, enterprise alliances, and technology alliances will begin collaborations with the fourth group. Carry out your duties with diligence. I understand, my lord. I will follow your commands to the letter, Tang Xiao responded, kneeling on one knee with utmost respect. Meanwhile, in the Nice Galaxy, the Golden Nice shipyard had fallen under the control of the Injoli. These formidable warriors patrolled the shipyard relentlessly, eliminating any sign of life, including robots. In the shipyard's control center, Devolonian mercenaries Homa and Velma stood beside the leaders of the Injoli tribes, reporting to the tribal wise men through a holographic projection. Among the images of more than 10 Injoli wise men, a human figure in a black cloak stood out, Darth Sidious, recognizable by his aquiline chin and sinister smile. The battle has concluded. The Golden Nest shipyard is now under our control, and we have acquired 67 ships. These will significantly support our next operations, Zam announced with glee. It appears my agent played a crucial role, Darth Sidious remarked. Velma laughed heartily. I masqueraded as a distressed explorer seeking supplies and repairs at the shipyard. Those fools suspected nothing. Their inability to comprehend how 5 Injoli warriors could overpower more than 100 of their guards was their downfall, Zam added proudly. Velma, your contributions have been outstanding. You've proven yourself worthy to stand among us, Injoli. Once this battle is behind us, I would be honored to have you marry my daughter, Woma, and join our families, an Injoli wise man proposed. It would be my utmost honor, Velma replied, his thin face breaking into a sly smile. However, now is not the time for celebration. We must remember that our greatest adversary has yet to reveal themselves. Darth Sidious interjected solemnly. Jedi Knights, Zam's face twisted in malice. Once they are eliminated, no one in the Galactic Republic will dare oppose us. Exactly. Ha! Darth Sidious's laugh echoed, distorted and chilling. Vol 2, Chapter 291, Aggression and Accusation. In the Chalanoy system, on the Amato satellite, lies the Mavich 7 colony. This colony, a mere 3 seconds at light speed from the Injoli galaxy, was established by human miners from the nearby Immaria galaxy. To ensure the safety of their mining operations, the inhabitants of Mavich 7 have fortified their colony with robust defenses. However, despite their preparations, the colony now faces a dire threat. A horde of miscellaneous spaceships, numbering in the hundreds, has descended upon the outskirts of Mavich 7, launching an unprovoked attack. The colony's defense forces, comprised of fighter jets and spaceships, scrambled to counter the assault. Yet, the invaders displayed exceptional piloting skills, executing maneuvers that defied belief. Their ability to perform such high-speed accelerations and sharp turns should have been detrimental to their physical well-being, but they seemed utterly indifferent to the strain. The disparity in numbers quickly became apparent. As the colony's outer defenses crumbled, a transport ship made a forceful landing on Mavich 7. Heavily armed Injolis burst forth from the hatch before the spacecraft had even touched down, taking to the skies with their jetpacks. From above, they unleashed a barrage of fire. Astonishingly, even when hit by return fire, they merely screamed in defiance, their resilient bodies shrugging off laser blasts as if they were nothing. This is Mavich 7. We are under attack. I repeat, we are under attack by the Injoli. Who will come to our aid? The commander of the guard force desperately shouted into the communicator, but his pleas went unanswered. They're jamming our communications. No, someone must return to planet Immaria and inform the Republic of our plight, another voice cried out. Amalia is in danger too. You must make for Coruscant directly. Take the Hydia hyperspace route. But our ships have been destroyed. Wait, there's still one ship in the hangar. It's out of commission for maintenance, but it might just get you to Coruscant, a staff member suggested. All right, Alan, you're our best pilot. This mission falls to you. And Walker, you're our top engineer. We're counting on you to keep that ship running. Please. the colony commander implored with urgency. As his words hung in the air, a series of explosions rocked the vicinity. Several staff members, faces etched with despair, grabbed their weapons and declared, "Go! We'll hold them off." 4 days later, in Coruscant, the capital of the Galactic Republic, within the Galactic Parliament building, a heated debate unfolded. The fourth group must be held accountable for the Injoli invasion, Phineas Valorum declared, his voice echoing through the chamber. In that case, I am left with no choice but to believe that, for reasons unknown, the Speaker of the Galactic Council, Phineas Valorum, has chosen to disregard the Constitution of the Republic. By leveraging his influence to target a burgeoning enterprise, he tramples upon the principles of market and commercial freedom within our galaxy, Gross Shelby retorted, pointing accusingly at Valorum. I deeply regret this turn of events. Should the Republic fail to prevent such incidents in the future, I fear the planets in our outer rim will suffer greatly, Counselor Francis Underwood of Dawn Planet remarked. His tone was measured, seemingly impartial, yet subtly implicating both the Fourth Group and the Galactic Republic in his critique. The Fourth Group's actions are merely standard business practices. If we are to be held liable for every product we manufacture, then let those who wish to take up the mantle do so. After all, even a rope can be used to strangle, Newt Gunley, the newly appointed governor of the Trade Federation, commented sardonically. It all comes down to whom you sell to. Surely, you wouldn't sell a gun to a known murderer, he concluded, casting a pointed look around the room. Schiff Palpatine asked with a faint smile, "Would you? Or does the trade you, Nyan, not even care about such matters? Have you sold weapons to murderers before?" Newt Gunley was momentarily taken aback and struggled to respond. The chamber erupted with clamor from many congressmen supporting Palpatine. The issue at hand, Palpatine continued, is that the weapons and spaceships exported by the Fourth Group have directly enabled the Injori people to wage war across the galaxy. This has been the spark of the current conflict. We cannot be certain of the Injori's next moves. The Republic has dispatched a special mission, but the outlook is grim. Your unscrupulous business practices may earn you 1,000,000 credits, but the Republic will have to spend far more, in both money and lives, to rectify the chaos you've caused. Phoenix Valorum, a seasoned politician, spoke with a provocative edge. His words rallied many lawmakers who still supported him. Shelby attempted to counter, but at that moment, several guards escorted 2 distressed individuals into the chamber. Before the guards could explain, the newcomers pleaded, "Help, please, help the Republic, save us." The guard quickly maneuvered the anti-gravity platform to the center of the spherical hall and, bowing to Valorum, announced, "Your Excellency Speaker, these are survivors from the Mevich 7 colony in the Chelino Galaxy." The Chelino Galaxy? What happened? Valorum's face contorted with concern, his reaction a mix of genuine shock and theatrics. The Injoli, they invaded our colony, they rob, kill anyone they encounter, they even resort to cannibalism. The man, dressed as a pilot, collapsed to the ground, sobbing uncontrollably. Mivich 7 colony? Isn't that our mining colony near the Chalinor system? It's protected by 500 guards and 20 fighter jets, meant to safeguard our miners. If Mivich 7 has fallen, Your Excellency Speaker, our planet, Imaria, might already be under invasion. The counselor from planet Imaria stood up in a panic and exclaimed. Valorum's fury was palpable. He pointed at Alan and Shelby, declaring, "Take a good look. This is the catastrophe you've brought upon us, the Fourth Group. I hereby revoke all your licenses and commercial rights in the galaxy. You are barred from any business activities hereafter. Further sanctions will be considered once we've addressed the Injori crisis. Use your ill-gotten gains to make amends." If the Republic chooses to blame the Fourth Group exclusively, ignoring the roles of the Injori and the Republic itself in this debacle, then we refuse to accept any accusations or penalties you impose. We'll see you in the Supreme Court. Shelby retorted angrily, then stormed out. The representatives of the 3 corporate giants, the Trade Alliance, the Enterprise Alliance, and the Technology Alliance, also left in a huff. I fear Senator Queenis is in a dire situation. Notify Master Windu immediately. This situation necessitates the intervention of the Jedi Order, Valorum ordered, recognizing the gravity of the crisis. Volume 2, Chapter 292, Assassination. What did you say? The Immerse have launched an invasion, seized control of the Golden Nest shipyard, and initiated an assault on the Chileno galaxy. Master Windu, who had been meditating, immediately recognized the gravity of the situation upon receiving the news. This is the current state of affairs. Given the Jedi Order's successful mediation in the Kali War, I am confident that the Order can once again demonstrate its capabilities. Phoenix Valoran communicated, his tone remaining detached. Master Windu's brow furrowed in displeasure at Phoenix Valoram's attitude, which seemed to imply that the Jedi Order was indebted to him. However, understanding the urgency of the situation, he set aside his personal feelings. Master Windu was acutely aware of the Galactic Republic's political landscape and knew that Phoenix Valoram's influence was waning. He realized that now was not the time for petty grievances. After all, a cornered animal can still bite, and if Valoram were to turn against the Jedi Order in desperation, it would be a regrettable loss. Unbeknownst to Master Windu, his consideration of these matters from a political standpoint marked a departure from the Jedi Order's traditional focus on the Force itself. This shift in perspective was a sign that the Order's priorities were beginning to align more closely with those of the Republic. Without delay, Master Windu reviewed the list of available Jedi and summoned Jedi Master Nation. Shortly after, a middle-aged human woman in her 40s, accompanied by a young man in his 20s, approached him. She bowed respectfully and inquired, "You requested my presence, Master Windu?" "The Injoli have initiated an act of aggression. They've captured Colony Number 7 Mavich and massacred the human miners there," Master Windu explained gravely. "Master Nashon, your recent efforts have helped the Republic avert several crises. I trust that you will be able to restore peace once again. Travel to the planet of Injori and demand an immediate cessation of their hostilities." Master Nashon smiled, bowed, and replied, "Understood, Master Windu. My apprentice, Ebor Talk, and I will depart for Injori without delay." Ebor Talk also stood and bowed to Master Windu, who then cautioned them, "The Injoris are merciless. Exercise extreme caution. May the Force be with you." "May the Force be with you, Master Windu." Master Nashon responded with a smile before she and her apprentice departed. Jedi Master Nashon and her apprentice, Ebor Talk, journeyed to the planet of Injori aboard an unarmed Republic Consul-class cruiser. Despite the hostile reception, they managed to communicate with the Injoli, who informed them that the Injoli chieftains were currently on Uhanaihe, one of the 3 colonized planets in the Injoli galaxy. Adjusting their course, they headed to the dense jungle planet. Upon their arrival, they discovered that the Injoli chieftains had prepared for battle. Hundreds of armed Injoli warriors were amassed in a fortress deep within the jungle, ready for conflict. Master Nashon and her apprentice navigated through the sea of warriors to confront the Injoli chieftains, including several esteemed elders such as Sofalk, Kaldek, and Yorick. Interestingly, Kaldek had intentions of marrying his daughter to the Devalonian mercenary, Velma. "I am Jedi Master Nashon, and this is my apprentice, Ebor Talk. We represent the Galactic Republic," Nashon stated with confidence. "What business does the Galactic Republic have with us?" retorted Kaldek, one of the chieftains. "Your invasion of the Chalanoy system and the massacre of miners on Colony Mavic 7 directly involve the Republic," Nashon replied, setting the stage for a tense negotiation. Nashon spoke with a tone of indifference. "They chose to resist us, so naturally we defended ourselves. They couldn't overpower us, and thus they met their demise. Do you see an issue with that?" Kaldek responded with a smirk. "The Constitution of the Republic doesn't permit such positions. You initiated the invasion of their territory, making their resistance lawful. Is it our fault for invading their territory, or is it because they were too weak? The Galactic Republic spans a vast galaxy, upheld by the might of its fleet. The harsh reality of this galaxy is the survival of the fittest," Nashon retorted. "The Republic has dispatched a delegation led by Senator Quinas to mediate. I was hoping to meet with them," Nashon added. "Oh, you'll find them outside this jungle, though not in the way you expect," Kaldek said cryptically. "I don't follow," Nashon admitted. "It means they've been consumed and expelled." "Ha!" Kaldek burst into wild laughter, joined by the surrounding Injorus, filling the fortress with their raucous amusement. In light of your grave violation of the Galactic Republic's constitution, you are to accompany me to Coruscant for a trial before the Supreme Court, Nashan stated, his patience wearing thin. Without another word, he activated his lightsaber, a brilliant blue blade emerging with a snap hiss. Beside him, Abbot Turk also ignited his blue lightsaber. Ha! I've always heard tales of the Jedi Knights being the most formidable warriors of the Galactic Republic. Shall we put that to the test? Kaldek gestured, and instantly more than 10 Injali warriors emerged, ready for battle. Nashan frowned, extending his hands to wield the Force, attempting to sway Kaldek's mind. No, you will accompany me. You're going back to Coruscant with me. Kaldek scoffed. To Coruscant? With just you two? Master, he seems completely immune to the Force. Abbot Turk voiced his concern, a hint of nervousness in his tone. Kill them. At Kaldek's command, the Injoli warriors charged, unleashing a barrage of blaster fire at Nashan and his apprentice. Nashan and Abbot Turk skillfully maneuvered their lightsabers, deflecting the incoming blaster beams and bullets. However, their counterattack seemed futile against the Injolis, whose towering figures, nearly 3 meters tall, exuded a terrifying presence. The air was filled with their fearsome roars as they encircled the 2 Jedi Knights, intensifying the sense of dread. Note 1, a correction from a previous chapter. Issus, Ibikoror, and Uhanai are planets, not space stations. This has now been amended. Volume 2, Chapter 293, a loud slap Sate Pestage, a member of Naboo's delegation to Coruscant and a personal assistant to Senator Sheev Palpatine, was deeply entrenched in the dark machinations of his master. As one of Palpatine's most loyal followers, Pestage was privy to the senator's secret identity as a Sith Lord. Often, he was tasked with executing Palpatine's more unsavory orders. Interestingly, according to the original storyline, after Palpatine's demise on the Death Star II, Pestage briefly assumed the role of Emperor of the Galactic Empire. However, lacking both popularity and military support, he was quickly overthrown and executed by rival warlords. This served as a grim reminder that some individuals are destined to remain mere underlings. On this particular day, Palpatine had assigned him yet another task. Are these 2 packages to be delivered to the entrance of the Galactic Council building? Sate Pestage pondered the logistics, his brow furrowing in concentration. To ensure they go undetected, I might need to involve Captain of the Guard Bono. Fear not, Mr. Palpatine, the packages will be delivered punctually. After ending the communication, Pestage approached an unattended hovercar parked nearby, opened the door, and discovered 2 ominous packages on the back seat. Closing the door as if nothing was amiss, he initiated another call. Kingman Dorian, we have a task at hand. Remember how Captain Bono lost over 100,000 credits at the underground casino last time? Inform him I can resolve his debt, but in return, he owes me a favor. No problem. You're in charge, came the reply from the other end. The following morning, a piercing scream shattered the serene atmosphere of the Galaxy Parliament building. An early rising congressman stumbled upon a horrifying sight at the building's entrance and screamed in utter despair. Lying on the ground were 2 brutally mutilated corpses, a sight he had never encountered in his life. The presence of these bodies at the heart of the Galactic Republic's power was a blatant affront to its authority, akin to a resounding slap across its face. The attire of the deceased suggested they were Jedi Knights, which only intensified the shock and outrage. Jedi Master Nashan and her apprentice Ibo Turk had been murdered, their bodies callously discarded at the Parliament building's entrance. This act was a direct insult to both the Galactic Council and the Jedi Order. Phoenix Valorum, the president of the Galactic Council, urgently reached out to Master Windu. Master Windu, the ramifications of this incident are dire. The press has already caught wind of it, and it's only a matter of time before the news spreads galaxy-wide. We're doing our best to manage the situation, but it's looking grim. 2 esteemed Jedi Knights have fallen to the Injorus, and the Jedi Order will not stand idly by, Master Windu responded. I implore you not to repeat past mistakes. It was imprudent to dispatch only 2 Jedi Knights to confront the Injorus. Valorum's attempt to shift the blame was evident. Perhaps, Mr. Speaker, You should reflect on who has been resolving your crises in the absence of judicial fleet support. The Jedi Order cannot afford to have dozens of members on standby. Master Nishan was the only one we could spare, Windu retorted sharply before ending the communication. The loss of Jedi Knights was not an uncommon occurrence, but the act of murdering them and leaving their bodies at the Galactic Republic Parliament building was unprecedented in the Republic's 25,000-year history. The atmosphere in the Supreme Council of the Jedi Order was tense and charged with emotion. "It's a great shame," Mika Geet, a council member, exclaimed, unable to contain his anger. In this situation, the Republic should directly dispatch a judicial fleet to address the issue. Master Windu, however, shook his head in disagreement. Let's not forget that Phoenix Valorum has completely lost the support of the judicial fleet. Moreover, even if the fleet were dispatched, the Republic would fall, see immense public pressure. This would mark the beginning of a formal, large-scale war, unlike any skirmish with pirates we've seen before. It would be the first war in 1,000 years. Thus, if a diplomatic solution is possible, it would be preferable. The blood shed by our Jedi Knights must be avenged by the Jedi themselves. Evan Peel, another committee member, declared, his voice filled with fury. Master Windu nodded in acknowledgement. This time, I will personally lead a special mission to locate the highest command of the Injoli people and capture their leader. This approach should allow us to resolve the crisis without resorting to the use of the fleet. He proceeded to list the members of the mission. Master Qui-Gon Jinn, Master Ithkos, Master Mika Gayet, Master Sisi Ting, Master Adi Gallia, and their respective apprentices, a total of 12 individuals. We must be prepared for a challenging confrontation. Master Yoda, who had been silent, finally spoke. Be ready, you must. Approaching, danger is, I feel it. Then, Master Yoda, I entrust the Jedi Temple to you while I lead this mission to apprehend the leader of the Injoli people and avert the disaster of war for the Galactic Republic, Master Windu said, bowing respectfully to Yoda. It's just a tool, the Injolis are. Find the puppeteer behind this crisis. You must, Master Yoda advised solemnly. Meanwhile, in the supreme command of the Injoli people, the chiefs were also in a meeting. The Jedi Knights are indeed very powerful. Just 2 Jedi managed to kill more than 10 of our warriors, Kaldek remarked. We need to anticipate the Galactic Republic's next move. If they send a fleet, we will be annihilated, Sofuk, another chief, expressed his concern. Velma, however, smiled confidently. Don't worry, the Galactic Republic won't send a fleet. Moreover, I've sent back the bodies of the 2 Jedi Knights with a very grand ceremony. It will soon be clear to the Republic that our target is solely the Jedi Order. But we killed Jedi, Yorick interjected, worried. The Jedi Knights are merely a symbol of the Republic. The Republic's most powerful weapon will always be their fleet, and currently there's significant conflict between the Jedi Order and the Galactic Republic's parliament. The Republic won't be concerned with the lives of a few Jedi Knights, Velma explained. Next, we need to demonstrate that we are the most formidable warriors in the galaxy. Once we do that, the Galactic Republic will have to take notice, another mercenary, Holma added. And if we want to completely defeat a beast, the best way is to kill their cubs, he said, laughing menacingly. Velma joined in the laughter, her tone sinister. The Jedi Order will send their elites, and when they do, Attachment 1 of the Easter egg chapter, De Wallonian mercenary, Vilma Grark. Vol 2, Chapter 294, Audacity in the Extreme. Master Windu, leading a special envoy, arrived in the Injori system with the intention of seeking a peaceful resolution. They traveled in 3 console-class cruisers, each unarmed, due to their diplomatic mission. The group, consisting of 12 members, was divided into 3 squads to maximize their efforts. However, upon entering the Injoli galaxy, their cruisers were immediately assaulted by Injoli fighter jets, among which were more than a dozen blade fighters from the 4th civilization. It was clear that the Injoli had no interest in negotiations this time. With their cruisers unarmed, Master Windu had to rely on his exceptional piloting skills and his foresight through the Force to evade the attackers. Despite their efforts, they managed to land on 3 colonial planets of the Injolis. Yet, the relentless pursuit by Injoli fighters led to severe damage to 2 of the console-class cruisers. The hostility on the planets was palpable, with many Injoli people eager to eliminate them, putting Master Windu and his team in grave danger. Meanwhile, on Coruscant, a heated debate raged against the Fourth Group. Phineas Valorum proposed a motion in the Galactic Council to discuss sanctions against the Fourth Group. When representatives from the Fourth Group and various corporate entities, including the Trade Union, Technology Alliance, Enterprise Alliance, Interstellar Banking Association, and Commercial Guild, refused to attend, the Galactic Republic Congress took decisive action. They revoked all licenses and qualifications of the Fourth Group, banning their business activities galaxy-wide. Additionally, they imposed a fine of 1 billion credit points on the Fourth Group and demanded compensation for every victim of the Injoli's aggression. Gross Shelbia, representing the Fourth Group, defiantly refused to comply with the judgment. He pointed out that their largest store in Nasada, located in Hutt space, remained open, challenging the Republic to shut it down. Despite the restrictions, the Fourth Group's products continued to sell well online. Moreover, commercial videos showcasing the Fourth Group's ships defeating the Republic fleet during the Battle of Malastar Fjords resurfaced, infuriating Phoenix Valoran. In a bold move, the Fourth Group hired an extensive legal team of over 3,000 lawyers to sue Phoenix Valorum and the Galactic Republic Parliament in the Supreme Court. The Fourth Group didn't stop there. They announced their alliance with the Technology Alliance and the Trade Alliance to develop a new generation of battlecruisers named the Higra class. This 1,009-meter-long battleship, developed by Higra Aerospace, a subsidiary of the Fourth Group, featured a sleek and aesthetically pleasing design that immediately captivated many. The release of the concept map led to a flurry of orders, signaling a significant shift in the balance of power. The Trade Federation and Technology Federation, previously dismayed by the halt in large warship manufacturing due to the withdrawal of the Quat power dock, now took a firmer stance, recognizing the potential of this new alliance and its impact on the galaxy's future. Assisting the Fourth Group and the Galactic Republic, these major enterprise alliances operate within a trust-like organizational structure. For those curious, a simple search can provide more details. Within this structure, there are both wholly owned subsidiaries and somewhat independent entities that form alliances due to shared product lines and interests. An example of this is the Quarter Power Dock, which, during its time in both the Trade and Technology Alliances, operated as an essentially independent entity. However, when faced with significant decisions, it would consult the Alliance's board of directors. The current situation of the Fourth Group mirrors that of the Quarter Power Dock, maintaining a presence in both the technology and trade alliances to facilitate multifaceted cooperation. Due to its involvement in numerous galactic conflicts in recent years, many have started referring to this group as the War Merchants. At this juncture, Velma Grack, a mercenary who has earned the Injori's trust, is pushing for the execution of a daring plan. I've learned that Master Windu, the leader of the Jedi Order, is en route to the Injori system. The Jedi Temple is practically unguarded now. If we launch a raid, we can seize the temple. Our primary objective is to eliminate the apprentices within. This will ensure the Jedi Knights vanish from the galaxy, Velma proposed with fervor. Indeed, between the Injori and the Jedi Order, only one can prevail. I've already shared the fate of the Mandalorians with you. The Jedi Order forcibly intervened in their civil war, leading to the Mandalorians' massacre at the Battle of Galadron. The Jedi will not tolerate any threat to their supremacy, another mercenary, Homa, added. We must act preemptively. Destroying the Jedi Order will grant us leverage to negotiate with the Galactic Republic. The Injori will ascend as the Republic's elite warriors, replacing the Jedi Order, Velma declared. Considering the Republic's judicial fleet, eliminating the Jedi Order, a mere 10 or 20,000 strong, is trivial. We've also demonstrated that the Jedi Knight's force tricks are utterly ineffective against the mighty Injori, Homa elaborated. Master Windu is heading to the Injori galaxy, but our warriors will ensure he never returns. And as for Master Yoda, who remains in the Jedi Temple, he's over 800 years old, Velma said, her face contorting. Homa gestured dramatically. An 800-year-old man. Should the formidable Injori truly fear such an elderly figure? Swayed by their persuasive argument, akin to the allure of a pyramid scheme, the Injori chiefs resolved, "Zam! You will lead this mission. Gather our finest warriors, head to Coruscant, and strike the Jedi Temple with a deadly blow." "No problem. Not a single Jedi Knight will be spared. They'll all be eliminated." Zam responded with a sinister laugh. "Don't worry. I have connections in Coruscant. Getting you into the Jedi Temple will be a breeze. Ha ha ha! In Coruscant, I'm a force to be reckoned with, thanks to my extensive network," Velma boasted. "Excellent. Ensure this is accomplished before the Republic dispatches their fleet. The Jedi Order must be destroyed," Kaldek commanded grimly. Easter Egg Chapter Attachment 1, Higra-class Battle Cruiser from Homeland 2. The game and settings do not provide a name, referring to it simply as a battle cruiser, so I've taken the liberty to name it myself. Volume 2, Chapter 295, Assault on the Jedi Temple. A transport ship, cleverly disguised as a merchant vessel, approached the planet Coruscant. Due to either a conscious oversight or an unintentional error by the customs staff, the ship was allowed to pass without a thorough inspection and headed straight for one of the Galactic Republic's core institutions, the Jedi Temple. Master Yoda, deep in meditation within the temple, abruptly opened his eyes. With a sense of urgency, he leaped up, tapping his crutch against the ground twice before speaking in his distinctive slow cadence. "A ferocious enemy approaches. The crisis is imminent." "Master Yoda, have you sensed something?" Jedi Master Yorel Puff inquired with a note of caution. "Evacuate the apprentices and prepare for battle," Master Yoda instructed as he exited the hall with a determined stride. Meanwhile, near the Jedi Temple, an unassuming transport ship glided silently. As it passed behind the temple, its doors opened, releasing hundreds of fierce Injali warriors. Led by Zam, they descended from the sky with the aid of winged jetpacks, launching a surprise assault on the Jedi Temple from all directions. A female Jedi Knight, patrolling the temple's perimeter, was caught off guard by the sudden attack. The idea of someone daring to raid the Jedi Temple had never crossed her mind. Without warning, several Injoli warriors descended upon her, their massive bodies, each weighing half a ton, crashing into her with formidable force. "Ha! Jedi Knight, you have the dubious honor of being the first to fall in this assault on the Jedi Temple," an Injoli warrior bellowed with malicious glee. Struggling to her feet, the Jedi Knight ignited her lightsaber and charged into battle with valor. However, as more Injoli joined the fray, she found herself overwhelmed by their brute strength. Eventually, an Injoli struck her from behind with a powerful kick, sending her flying several meters. The Injoli then closed in, mercilessly firing upon her as she lay defenseless on the ground. Inside the Jedi Temple, Zam led the Injoli commandos with a clear objective: target the training grounds first, eliminate the apprentices. But to their surprise, the temple appeared deserted. Zam's instincts immediately signaled danger. "Where is everyone? This isn't right. It's a trap." "Indeed, a trap for beasts," a wise old voice responded. Emerging from the shadows was a small green-skinned figure with pointed ears, wielding a half-meter-long green lightsaber. Despite his diminutive stature, Master Yoda exuded a calm, commanding presence, his aura radiating with the power of the Force. Joining Master Yoda were the remaining members of the Jedi Supreme Council, along with Jedi Masters and Knights, all armed with lightsabers and ready for battle. They had been concealed within the temple, using the Force to mask their presence from the Injoli invaders. Now, with all escape routes blocked, the Injoli found themselves trapped like beasts in a cage. A fierce battle ensued between the galaxy's most formidable warriors and the guardians of the Galactic Republic. Outside the Jedi Temple, Darth Maul, a red-skinned Zabrak, observed the conflict through a drone, relaying the images to his master, Darth Sidious. "It appears I overestimated the Injoli," Darth Sidious remarked with a sinister chuckle. "To truly dismantle the Jedi Order, one must start with the apprentices. Since the Injoli have failed, I shall find another more capable of achieving our goal. One day, I will personally extinguish the light of these young Jedi Knights," Darth Maul declared, his voice filled with determination and hatred. "We shall see," Darth Sidious replied, his laughter tinged with dark anticipation. The battle within the Jedi Temple concluded swiftly. Despite their ferocity, Zam and his warriors were no match for the combined might of the Jedi. In the midst of a fierce battle, the Jedi Knights, with their unparalleled power and flexibility, stood unchallenged. Their ability to foresee the future without being affected by it allowed them to directly influence the course of the battle. The lightsabers in their hands cut through their adversaries with ease, while any bullets or lasers aimed at them were effortlessly deflected. The opposition was utterly powerless. In this confrontation, the Jedi suffered only a single casualty before they decimated their opponents, leaving only Zam, gravely wounded, as the sole survivor. Master Yoda, having sheathed his lightsaber, stepped over the fallen Injori warrior's body and approached Zam. "Attack on the Jedi Order. Why?" "The Injoris," Master Yoda inquired, his voice calm, yet carrying an underlying sternness. Clutching the wound in his abdomen, Zam responded with a mix of pain and defiance. "This is the only way for us to ascend. If we don't kill you, you will kill us." Master Yoda shook his head, a gesture of disappointment. "We have no desire to kill you. As long as you do not initiate conflict, no one will attack you." "Enough of these platitudes. I know the truth. You slaughtered the Mandalorians because they could rival the Jedi Knights. We Injoris fear we will meet the same fate one day." "Time will reveal all truths. Now tell me, where is the high command of the Injoris?" Master Yoda pressed, choosing not to engage further in a fruitless argument. "The Supreme Command? I'm sorry, I don't know. I'm just a rank-and-file warrior." Zam's expression twisted in agony and frustration. Master Yoda sighed, a sound of regret. "This is not how things should be. Thorn, report the situation here to Master Windu," he instructed another Jedi nearby. As Master Yoda turned his attention away, Zam saw his opportunity. In a desperate attempt, he ignited into action, grabbing a blaster from the ground with the intention to fire. However, Master Yoda, without even needing to look back, sensed the impending attack. With a mere wave of his hand, he unleashed a forceful blast that sent Zam flying like a bullet, crashing into a wall with such impact that even the formidable Injori warrior stood no chance. Zam, once considered the most powerful among the Injoris, was killed instantly, offering no resistance. Though the attack on the Jedi Temple was swiftly neutralized, the news of the raid spread like wildfire across the Galactic Republic, igniting a storm of controversy. Both the Republic and the Jedi Order found themselves embroiled in scandal, their reputations tarnished by the incident. Vol 2, Chapter 296, Sacrifice. You want to know the secrets of the Jedi's mighty power? Come, I'll tell you all my secrets. A wounded Jedi, leaning against the wreckage of a crudely made Injoli tank, announced loudly. He was surrounded by dozens of tanks, with more than a dozen turned into wrecks, and the bodies of many Injoli warriors scattered around. Yet, more Injoli warriors encircled him, their culture, respecting strength, and having witnessed the power of the Jedi Knight over the past few days. Eager to learn the secret of the Jedi Knight's power, they moved closer. The expression on the Jedi Knight's face gradually twisted into something hideous. The secret of a strong Jedi Knight is, we will never be afraid to sacrifice for the right cause. With those final words, he thrust his lightsaber into the tank's energy compartment. The force unleashed, coupled with the high temperature of the lightsaber, instantly triggered a violent explosion that engulfed the surrounding Injoli warriors. Don't be afraid of sacrifice. Stick to your beliefs, help the weak, and eliminate injustice. Tang Xiao suddenly opened his eyes, standing up to gaze at the sky. The vivid image that had just appeared in his mind was striking. His gaze, directed towards the Injuri galaxy, was filled with awe. What a powerful will! Was this the death of a powerful Jedi Master? He then withdrew his gaze, reflecting, Jedi Knights are indeed mostly noble souls, but they are walking a misguided path at a wrong time. He then bowed deeply in that direction, paying his respects. To the unyielding, unknown, and powerful Jedi, perhaps more Jedi will fall in the future, some possibly by my hand. But at least our goals align, striving to make this galaxy a better and stronger place. So rest in peace, along with the Jedi Order. As if on cue, a formation of ghost fighter jets flew by in the sky, disappearing in an instant thanks to their stealth system. A cold smile played on the corner of Tang Xiao's mouth as he suddenly turned and leaped from the waterfall where he had been meditating. A suspended car was waiting below, ready to carry him towards Dawn City. On the planet Coruscant, in the industrial area, Darth Sidious's twisted voice emerged from the shadows. It seems at least one member of the Jedi High Council has perished. Our objective has been met, Darth Maul. Let's conclude our business here. The Injoli are of no further use. Shall we eliminate the Velma brothers? Darth Maul inquired. No, they still serve a purpose. Ensure there's no one on the Injoli side left who can reveal our involvement, Darth Sidious commanded. Yes, my lord. In the tower of the Jedi Temple, Master Yoda clutched his chest tightly, overcome with sorrow. His body trembled slightly, and he could barely hold on to his crutch, which clattered to the ground. We all felt the final will of Master Giet through the Force. Master Yrel Puff sighed. For the unfinished mission, for the peace and prosperity of the Galactic Republic, sacrifices must be made. When the time comes, every member of our Jedi Order must be prepared to lay down their lives. Peace and prosperity seem ever more distant dreams. Master Yoda lamented, shaking his head. Not just the beasts of slaughter, the Injoli. There is someone guiding them, seducing them to the dark side. I can feel it. The Injoli people worship strength and the law of the jungle. What they've done makes them no better than beasts. Master Evan Peel declared vehemently. Master Mika Giet's sacrifice demands that the Injoli pay a price. Fighting, killing, but maintaining order, that is the Injoli way, Master Yoda observed. Their souls, I sense, are bloodied, yet not consumed by darkness. They are like abandoned children. Does this mean the Sith have re-emerged in the galaxy? Master Yeddle inquired. The disturbance in the Force grows stronger, a fog obscuring reality. But one fact remains undeniable. The dark side is on the rise, Master Yoda concluded. According to the prophecy of the Force, when the era of darkness, the prophecy foretold of the chosen son who would restore balance to the Force, Master Yeddle proclaimed. The chosen son. I do hope so, Master Yoda mused, his gaze drifting into the distance, eyes filled with a profound depth. Meanwhile, in the Galactic Council, Phoenix Valorum was in the midst of a flurry of activity. He leveraged nearly all of his connections, unhesitatingly entering into political bargains with several members of Congress. His efforts bore fruit as he successfully convinced the judicial fleet to dispatch 4 squadrons to the Injoli galaxy. Their mission was to support Master Windu in quelling the riots that had erupted among the Injoli people. On a hostile planet within the Injoli galaxy, Master Windu and his 3 squads bravely carved a path through the chaos. However, their efforts led to a startling discovery. The 3 colonized planets they fought to secure were devoid of Injoli inhabitants. The situation escalated when the Consul-class cruiser, carrying Master Mika Giet, was downed by Injoli fighter jets, plunging them into dire straits. In a noble sacrifice, Master Giet gave his life to ensure the survival of his comrades. It was only after capturing the Devalonian mercenary Velma Garak that Master Windu uncovered a crucial piece of information. The Injoli High Command had not established their base on any planet within their galaxy, but had instead chosen an uninhabited rocky asteroid as their stronghold. Reunited, the 3 squads took stock of their losses, mourning the death of Master Mika Giet and 2 other Jedi Knights. With heavy hearts, they boarded the last remaining Consul-class cruiser and set a course for the mysterious asteroid. However, their departure was met with immediate pursuit by the Injoli fleet. The Injoli, realizing that the Jedi Knights were wreaking havoc on their planet, hastily redirected their fleet, which had been poised to invade the Amaria system, to eliminate Master Windu and his companions in space. But their efforts were in vain. As the Injoli fleet launched a frenzied attack on Master Windu's cruiser, the Republic Justice Fleet made a timely arrival. Though comprised of only a squadron, the fleet boasted an array of armed Consul-class cruisers, Republic-class shuttles, and a formidable Dreadnought-class heavy cruiser. Outmatched, the Injoli fleet suffered the loss of over 30 ships and was forced to retreat. Master Windu seized this opportunity to penetrate the Injoli's last bastion of secrecy, the rocky asteroid that served as their hidden stronghold. Note, the Injoli riot stands as a pivotal yet seldom mentioned event in the final days of the Galactic Republic. It marked a peak in Darth Sidious's intricate conspiracy, from the massacre at Colony 7 of Muich to the assault on the Jedi Temple, which ultimately drove a wedge between the Republic and the Jedi Order. This chapter aims to shed light on this critical event, which also plays a significant role in the protagonist's journey. Vol 2, Chapter 297, Robbery. Master Windu, accompanied by 8 other Jedi Knights, embarked on a mission to eliminate the hidden high command of the Injoli people. To the Injoli's dismay, they found themselves utterly powerless against the small group of Jedi. Master Windu, wielding his distinctive purple lightsaber, seemed invincible, effortlessly dismantling any armored forces sent against them. Tanks and armored vehicles were reduced to mere scrap metal in his presence. The Injoli chieftain's advisors were paralyzed with fear when the formidable Jedi stormed their command center. Kaldek, one of the chieftains, lay prostrate on the ground, pleading for mercy. "Don't kill me. Spare my life, please," he begged. The other members of the High Command echoed his pleas. Master Windu ordered his fellow Jedi to disarm the chieftains. He then approached the cowering Injoli, who, despite their large frames, curled up on the ground in fear. "Your reign of ambition and power ends today," he declared icily. "We surrender. Please don't kill us," Kaldek stammered. "You once prided yourselves on being strong, preying on the weak. Now you're nothing but pitiful cowards," Master Windu retorted disdainfully. "So, when faced with a stronger opponent, you readily abandon your power?" "Yes, we are willing to surrender. Our power. If we face someone stronger, we often have no choice." Sufuki, another chieftain, admitted from his position on the ground. "Underneath your facade of strength, you're actually cowards who bully the weak and fear the strong," Master Windu sneered. "Tell me, who is behind this?" "It was the mercenary Velma Garak," Kaldek replied, trembling. "Velma? The same mercenary we apprehended in Ischias. That explains how he knew the location of your command center," Master Windu realized, connecting the dots. "It's true, Velma betrayed us. He orchestrated everything, convincing us that the Republic wouldn't intervene no matter what we did. He also claimed that if the Jedi discovered our actions, they would annihilate us," Kaldek explained. Master Windu turned to Obi-Wan Kenobi. "Obi-Wan, immediately inform the judicial fleet. The mercenary we handed over is the key to this. He must be kept under strict surveillance." However, after Obi-Wan connected with the judicial fleet, his expression darkened. "Velma has escaped." "How could he escape under the watch of the judicial fleet?" Master Windu exclaimed, shocked. "It seems Master Yoda was right. There's more to this incident than meets the eye," Master Qui-Gon Jinn mused. Following the capture of the entire Injoli chieftain group by Master Windu and his team, the Injoli officially surrendered. They withdrew all their fleets and ground troops, relinquishing control of all occupied territories. As part of the surrender agreement, the Injoli were completely disarmed. Their military equipment, including jetpacks, blaster rifles, assault rifles, and nearly all their spaceships, were confiscated, leaving them with only a few transport ships to maintain communication between their colonized planets. However, the judicial fleet overseeing the Injoli's withdrawal encountered an unexpected development. The Golden Nice shipyard, previously occupied by the Injoli, had been claimed by another party, the Fourth Group. They presented a loan contract signed by the Injoli, stating that the shipyard was collateral, and thus, according to the agreement, it now belonged to the Fourth Group. With the Juha tribe of the Injoli stationed at the shipyard, the Fourth Group faced little resistance in taking control. Upon hearing this news, Phoenix Valorum was enraged and demanded the Fourth Group vacate the Golden Nice shipyard immediately. However, Gross Sherbia, representing the Fourth Group, coldly refused. He argued that the original owner of the shipyard, a notorious company named Xin, had been eradicated by the Injoli. Moreover, the surrender agreement of the Injoli did not specify the return of the shipyard, leaving the Fourth Group in a legally advantageous position. Phineas Valorum, upon learning that it was the Injoli people who had withdrawn and not the Fourth Group, realized that the Golden Nest shipyard was not covered by the surrender agreement. He immediately reached out to the commander of the Judicial Fleet Squadron, stationed in the Injori system, with orders to seize the shipyard by force. However, the Judicial Fleet had never been particularly cooperative with Valorum. Complicating matters further, the governor of the trade union, Newt Gunley, was orchestrating moves from the shadows. The commander, finding his account suddenly enriched by 1 million credits, flatly refused Valorum's directive. He stated that any forceful occupation of the Golden Nest shipyard would require an official resolution from the Parliament, one that also had the backing of the Judicial Fleet's Commander-in-Chief. Thus, Phineas Valorum and the Fourth Group were left with no choice but to pursue legal action once more. For Tang Xiao, this delay was inconsequential. Time was on the side of the Fourth Group. However, for Valorum, time was running out as his dismissal loomed. Shortly after the Judicial Fleet departed, a large transport ship from the trade union arrived, laden with robots and technical equipment. Work began immediately to transform the shipyard, with plans to erect a vast research institute adjacent to it. The shipyard was to be dedicated to the production of Higera-class battlecruisers. Following the Injoli withdrawal, the United Mining Group, sensing an opportunity, approached the planet Amaria with an offer. Amaria owned the mining planet Amado and the colony of Mevich No. 7 in the Chelino galaxy, not far from the Golden Nest shipyard. Mevich No. 7, previously ravaged by the Injoli, served as a mining colony. The United Mining Group proposed to assist in the reconstruction of Amado and the Mevich 7 colony, with the sole condition being a joint venture to exploit the mineral resources of the Chalanoy system. Given the proximity to the Golden Nest shipyard, the demand for these resources was guaranteed, promising a steady supply for the construction of Higuera-class battlecruisers. After careful consideration, Planet Amaria agreed to the proposal. Valorum was incensed by this development. He argued that Planet Amaria's collaboration with the United Mining Group effectively handed over the fruits of the Injoli invasion to outsiders. However, Amaria's representative countered Valorum's objections with a compelling argument. The United Mining Group offers us a chance to rebuild our mines and colonies, addressing the employment needs of hundreds of thousands. Can the Galactic Republic offer us a similar solution? This rebuttal left Valorum without a response, highlighting the complex interplay of interests and the challenges of governance in the galaxy. Vol 2, Chapter 298, Cloud of War. The brief uprising of the Injoli was swiftly quelled, with their leaders apprehended by the Jedi Order and transported to Coruscant for trial. However, the situation took an unexpected turn when several key figures among the Injoli leadership, including the sages Kaldek, Sofuk, and Yorick, took their own lives while incarcerated in the Coruscant prison. This series of suicides, coupled with the death of their principal military strategist, Zam, during an assault on the Jedi Temple, significantly hindered the progress of the investigation. Master Yoda, the esteemed leader of the Jedi Order, expressed his doubts regarding the mercenary Velma Grak's involvement in inciting the Injoli to initiate an invasion, suggesting the presence of a more sinister orchestrator behind the scenes. Despite this, the investigation stalled, and blame was hastily attributed to the Fourth Group. This group vehemently denied any involvement, asserting their respect for the Jedi Order and stating that provoking the Order would not serve their interests. They maintained that their only interaction with the Injoli was a commercial transaction. What ensued was a futile exchange of accusations. Nevertheless, the Galactic Republic enacted a resolution to impose a trade embargo and economic sanctions on the Injoli, banning them from possessing any intergalactic combat vessels. On several Injoli colonial planets, military factories were dismantled and sold off, with the proceeds used to compensate for the damages inflicted by the Injoli invasion. The political landscape on Injoli underwent significant transformations. With the death of Zam and the incarceration and subsequent suicides of the wise leaders, the once dominant Zam tribe disintegrated. This power vacuum led to violent clashes among neighboring tribes for control of the capital, Thor Kajan, plunging the planet into chaos. Amidst this turmoil, the Juha tribe emerged as a formidable force, leveraging their control over a highly sought-after commodity among the Injoli, cigars. The tribe's dominance grew as they vanquished rival factions, with the cigar becoming a symbol of their power. Consequently, the Yuha tribe's monopoly over the cigar trade further solidified their influence on Injoli. 3 days later, the Jedi Temple hosted a solemn and dignified funeral for the 7 Jedi Knights who perished in the conflict with the Injoli. The fallen included Master Nashan and her apprentice, who initially sought to mediate, 2 knights who defended the temple. Master Mika Geet, who died capturing the Injoli leaders, and 2 other knights. Master Mika Geet, a member of the Jedi Order's 12 Supreme Council, was particularly mourned. Known for his relentless efforts against crime and smuggling, his loss was deeply felt, especially since he was often away from Coruscant, with Master Ki-Adi-Mundi frequently acting in his stead. At the funeral, Master Yoda spoke of the growing shadow of the dark side, warning the Jedi Order of the challenging times ahead and the resurgence of dark forces. While the identity of these adversaries remained uncertain, the implication of the Sith's return loomed ominously over the gathering. The situation demanded serious attention. Following Master Mikiet's departure, Master Coleman Truber assumed his position on the Supreme Council. Unlike his predecessor, Master Coleman Truber lacked proficiency in the Force and swordsmanship, but excelled as a diplomat and negotiator. Masters Yoda and Windu were hopeful that he could leverage these skills to mediate the escalating conflicts across the galaxy. Initially, Master Ki-Adi-Mundi was considered for the role, but the civil war on the planet Celia had left him heartbroken and in seclusion, leading to the selection of Master Coleman Truber. Despite the resolution of the Injoris invasion, peace remained elusive in the galaxy. The abrupt end to the conflict between the Kali and the Yamre had previously brought a wave of relief, but this time, from Speaker Phoenix Valorum to the citizens of the Republic, a sense of foreboding pervaded. There was a collective premonition that the era of peace might be over for good. On the planet Celia, the civil war intensified. Yuri Orlov, having been acquitted, resumed supplying weapons to Elder Dole Fermi Bonmi, the leader of the technology movement. With Orlov's support, Fermi Bonmi's forces began to consolidate their power, using a castle as their stronghold. Another elder, Laden, also sought support, aligning with the Technology Alliance to modernize his army. Meanwhile, various warlords and separatist factions turned to the black market to arm themselves. Elder Dole Fermi Bonmi then made a decisive move. With Yuri Orlov's backing, he secured several transport ships and airdropped a significant cache of weapons and soldiers into 3 prison cities. These cities housed so-called tech prisoners, detained during a crackdown on technology by the Celia Presbyterians. As the Civil War escalated, the technology movement had been covertly liaising with these prisoners. Now, armed and supplied by Orlov, and with additional aid under the guise of humanitarian relief from the Fourth Group, they managed to rally over 100,000 prisoners to their cause. The prisoners, long resentful of the Elders' rule, eagerly joined the technology movement. Thus, the 3 prison cities became strategic strongholds, directly threatening Elder Leiden's control over the capital, Tikov City. In a panic, Elder Leiden reached out to Walter Tambor, governor of the Technology Alliance, for more advanced weaponry. Unbeknownst to him, Tambor was at that moment enjoying a leisurely tea with Yuri Orlov, indicating a complex web of alliances and betrayals. Vol 2, Chapter 299, Group 4. Wat Tambor, a Skakun who cannot adapt to the environment of most planets, is encased in a mechanical suit that gives him a robotic appearance. As the leader of the Techno Union, he is an avid engineer and businessman with a passion for technology. He believes the Galactic Republic's outdated and rigid structure stifles technological advancement. Thus, he spends most of his time in the Outer Rim, where the Republic's influence is minimal, allowing him to pursue his technological endeavors without restraint. Developing technology requires significant financial resources, and Wat Tambor is equally enthusiastic about generating wealth. For instance, he is involved in dealings on the planet Celia. Elder Leighton desires more weaponry. He has requested that we supply them with tanks, Tambor stated, initially with a somber tone. Realizing this, he adjusted a knob on his chest, changing his tone to a more cheerful one. He has seized the capital, and with the wealth of the Presbyterian Church at his disposal, I'll sell him a batch of tanks at a steep price. Yuri Orlov, while leisurely smoking a cigar, added, "Offering Elder Dole a batch of anti-tank weapons now would be too conspicuous. We're currently testing a new sniper rifle, the M29 Mantis. It could be given to Elder Dole, allowing him to put up a decent fight. However, the rifle's effectiveness against shields is limited, so it's best if the tanks sold don't come equipped with deflector shields." In that case, I can remove the tank's shield generator and sell it separately as a stationary shield generator. This way, they can use it to protect the infantry as they advance. Ha! Tambor laughed, adjusting the knob again. At least this way, the environmental impact will be minimized. Yuri remarked. Environment? Heh. That's the least of my concerns. If it were profitable, I'd strip every tree from planet Celia and sell them. Tambor scoffed. Planet Celia is ideal for developing agriculture and tourism. Plus, the Bonta Night Shuttle racing competition could open a new track here. Imagine replacing the monotonous desert vistas of Tatooine with a track through lush forests. The bettors would go wild, Yuri Orlov chuckled. Jabba the Hutt won't allow a new track to open, Tambor pointed out. No, he will. Or rather, he's powerless to stop it, Yuri countered. As long as it's profitable, there's no issue. If I can have a stake in this new track, I'm willing to exclude the heavy artillery from our arms deal, Tambor proposed. You're quite the opportunist, Mr. Tambor, Yuri jested. Ha ha ha! It's all in the name of business, Mr. Orlov. Your handling of the Injoli affair was exemplary, Sidious. Our plan is now one step away from fruition, Darth Plagueis said to his esteemed apprentice, Darth Sidious, in their secret base on the planet Murinster. Tang Xiao, hidden nearby under the protection of Darth Plagueis, listened in, unnoticed by Sidious. Yes, my lord, the Injoli riots have set the stage perfectly. The popularity of Phineas Valorum and the Jedi Order is at an all-time low. Now we need only to take the final step, Sidious replied, bowing. Has the new ruler of planet Naboo been elected? Plagueis inquired. The general election concludes this month. The new ruler, or rather queen, will likely be Princess Amidala, Padme Niberi, Sidious answered. Prepare Newt Gunray. The end of the Republic will commence with the blockade of planet Naboo, Plagueis declared, his expression darkening. The fools on planet Naboo believe that the death of S. Varuna is enough to appease my wrath. How naive! Only a river of their blood and a mountain of their corpses can atone for the humiliation they've caused. Assassination is but a stepping stone on this path, paved with the blood of Naboo's people. It's my ascent to power. Darth Plagueis declared, his voice seething with ambition. The planet Naboo will quiver in fear of your might, and the galaxy will kneel before you, my lord. I will suggest to Padme Nibei that she cancels the existing contract for the export of plasma mines with the Trade Federation. Newt Gunray is perfectly positioned to exploit this situation, Darth Sidious advised, his tone laced with cunning. Let him prepare. But first, we must eliminate all sources of instability. I refer to the Black Sun. Darth Plagueis' voice grew furious, his anger palpable even thousands of light-years away in the Coruscant Industrial Zone, where Darth Sidious could feel the air tremble around him. A year has passed. Why has Alexis Garen's head not been delivered to me? My apprentice Darth Maul is relentlessly pursuing and eliminating the forces of the Black Sun. The Trade Alliance and the Corporate Alliance are also exerting pressure to corner them. I am confident that soon, the remaining Vigos of the Black Sun, along with Alexis Garen's head, will be presented to you, my lord, Darth Sidious assured him. Darth Maul, the sharp blade you've honed seems more like a blunt knife, Darth Plagueis scoffed. Darth Maul is merely a temporary measure. I've already identified a more suitable successor. Sidious revealed, his laughter tinged with dark anticipation. Master Dooku, he's aged, set in his ways, many of which are irreversible. Are you certain he's the one you wish to choose? Plagueis questioned skeptically. Yes, he's been in Seleno recently, but our connection has remained unbroken. I believe he needs only an opportunity to embrace the dark side fully, Darth Sidious explained, his voice confident. Then shifting the topic, he added, however, there's another pressing issue that requires your insight. What is it? Speak, Plagueis demanded. There's an unknown element obstructing our plans. I believe it's time to silence them. Darth Sidious's smile turned sinister as he uttered a name, the Fourth Group. As he spoke, his gaze subtly shifted in the direction of Tang Xiao's location. Easter Egg Chapter Attachments. 1. Walter Tamber, leader of the Technology Alliance. 2. M29 Mantis Sniper Rifle from Mass Effect 3. Volume 2, Chapter 300, The Heir of Eternal Life. Darth Plagueis spoke with a tone of casual authority. The Fourth Group. I have investments in this company, and it operates under our control. His voice carried a hint of displeasure as he continued, "Their recent actions have crossed the line." Darth Sidious, sharing his concern, added, "Especially their dealings with the Injurious. Their activities nearly shifted the entire focus of the Jedi Order and Phoenix Valorum towards them. We must remove them. Their recklessness needs to be curbed. The fourth group serves as a strategic reserve I've arranged. We need to maintain a balance of power. Our goal is to rule the galaxy directly, not to be manipulated by these industrial titans." Plagueis asserted with conviction, "You place too much faith in the fourth group, my lord. In comparison to the Quarter Power Dock, they are insignificant. Moreover, the Quarter family has aligned with our plans. The actions of the fourth group could potentially influence the Quarter's decisions," Sidious cautioned. Plagueis dismissed the concern with a wave of his hand. "That is not for you to worry about. Focus on managing the affairs of the Black Sun and planet Naboo effectively. Do not disappoint me." "Yes, my lord," Sidious replied before ending the communication. Turning to Tang Xiao, who was present during the conversation, Plagueis remained silent. Tang Xiao quickly knelt on one knee, bowing his head. "Your Highness, the fourth group has indeed been too conspicuous lately. I will ensure they operate more discreetly. However, I am reluctant to pass up certain opportunities. I seek your forgiveness." "You heard my earlier discussion. The strength of the fourth group benefits me. On the contrary, I am pleased to see you managing my interests well. If you're overly concerned about every outcome, then you're not fit to be a Sith." Plagueis' critique was sharp, yet motivating. "Rest assured, my lord, the fourth group will only grow stronger." Tang Xiao responded with a sincere yet sinister smile. "I will not let any opportunity slip by." Plagueis nodded, seemingly satisfied. "I allowed you to witness this conversation to introduce you to my other apprentice and to understand the kind of person he is. What do you think of him?" "I am honored to have such a strong and wise individual serving under you, my lord," Tang Xiao replied. "Even knowing he would kill you without hesitation if he knew of your existence, would you still say that?" Plagueis inquired coldly. "I am different. I serve only you, my lord," Tang Xiao stated with respect. Plagueis chuckled. "You may lack Sidious's strength, but I haven't shared my true research with him. You, on the other hand, I believe will be of great assistance to me." "It is my honor," Tang Xiao said. Plagueis then led Tang Xiao to his secret laboratory. With a gesture, he used the Force to press a hidden button, revealing a concealed bookshelf that rose from the floor. "This is the manuscript of my research on midi-chlorians. You will stay here for a while, managing the group's affairs remotely. Study these materials thoroughly, and then assist me in my research," Plagueis instructed, pointing to the bookshelf. Tang Xiao approached and observed several thick volumes, including titles like The Science of Creating Life, The Influence of Midi-chlorians, Eternal Life, The Compression of the Force, The Philosophy of Life, A New Quest for the Force, Beyond Death, The Astral World and Chaos, The Spirit of the Sith, The Chosen One's Prophecy, and The Pinnacle of the Sith Way. The worn pages indicated the depth of Plagueis' dedication to these studies. Realizing the significance of these manuscripts, Tang Xiao understood Plagueis' intention to prepare him as a counterbalance to Darth Sidious. After all, Sidious was destined to operate within the political sphere of the Galactic Republic, serving as the more visible half of their dark partnership. However, the challenge lay in managing the delicate balance of power between them. Darth Sidious, undoubtedly occupying a high position, sparked concern in Darth Plagueis, fearing a potential betrayal. Tang Xiao, analyzing Plagueis' recent remarks, deduced that Plagueis was particularly apprehensive about the stance of the Quat Power Dock. This concern seemingly originated when the Quat Power Dock distanced itself from both the trade and technology alliances. Plagueis had initially envisioned a division of control, the military under his command, and the political realm under Sidious. However, Sidious' growing closeness with the Quat Power Dock threatened this balance. "Review these manuscripts, note any questions, and we can discuss them upon my return," Darth Plagueis instructed before departing, likely to address some urgent matters. Tang Xiao then reached out to key figures within the Fourth Civilization, instructing Baron Helmut Zemo, Francis Underwood, Daphne Clement, Qi Jian, and Professor Qi Zhenjun to methodically advance their respective projects. He also communicated specific directives to Kunte, Tang Xiao, the boss, and Yuri Orlov. The galaxy was expected to experience a brief period of calm following the conclusion of the Injori insurrection, only to be disrupted once more by the Battle of Naboo. Plagueis' decision to share his profound knowledge with Tang Xiao was a testament to the trust and recognition built over the past 2 to 3 years, marking Tang Xiao as his true successor, a stark contrast to his relationship with Darth Sidious. Unlike Plagueis, who withheld complete knowledge from Sidious, leading their paths to diverge significantly, Plagueis stood out among Sith Lords for his unique focus on life and immortality rather than destruction. While both Sith Lords and Jedi Knights revered the Force as a mystical entity beyond full comprehension, Plagueis sought to demystify it through scientific inquiry, dedicating immense effort to this endeavor. This approach rendered Plagueis one of the most enlightened and knowledgeable Sith Lords, albeit not the most powerful in terms of Force manipulation or lightsaber combat. His distinct path was not due to a lack of talent or intelligence, but a deliberate choice to explore uncharted territories. Now, Tang Xiao found himself before the extensive research manuscripts of this unparalleled Sith genius, ready to delve into the secrets that Plagueis had spent a lifetime uncovering. Vol 2, Chapter 301, Plagueis Research, Part 1. During a significant period, Tang Xiao found himself deeply engrossed in the study of Darth Plagueis' work, meticulously poring over the manuscript left by Plagueis multiple times. The knowledge contained within was nothing short of astonishing. Such studies, if ever discovered by the Jedi Order, would be considered absolutely forbidden. Darth Plagueis had ventured into the most taboo realms of the Force, namely, the creation of life itself. His research on Force-sensitive midi-chlorians was unparalleled in the galaxy, a subject not even touched upon in the vast archives of the Jedi Temple. Midi-chlorians, recognized by both Jedi Knights and Siths, are microscopic organisms that reside within living cells, with a normal human cell containing about 1,000 to 2,500 of these organisms. The higher the concentration of midi-chlorians, the stronger an individual's connection to the Force. Typically, a Jedi's cells might contain 5,000 to 10,000 midi-chlorians each. A concentration exceeding 15,000 per cell would indicate a being of pure Force essence. Midi-chlorians are intrinsically linked to life. Upon death, they dissipate from the body. Through these organisms, individuals can sense and manipulate the Force. However, if the concentration of midi-chlorians is too low, one might not perceive the Force at all, or only faintly. There are two prevailing theories regarding midi-chlorians. One suggests they were created by the Force to bridge the gap between living beings and the Force itself. The other posits that midi-chlorians inherently possess the ability to perceive the Force, and thus utilizing them equates to harnessing the Force. Darth Plagueis was a firm believer in the latter theory, which guided his research. The opening line of Plagueis' manuscript, A New Quest for the Force, boldly states, "The Jedi consider the workings of the Force to be mysterious, grand, and beyond comprehension." This view is a confession of their ignorance. Any mystical force can be unraveled through relentless pursuit and the expansion of knowledge. Just as the Assembly is the cornerstone of the Republic, so too is the Force the foundation of the Jedi Knight. Tang Xiao interpreted this to mean that Plagueis viewed the Jedi's mystification of the Force as a means to maintain their elite status. If this veil could be lifted, the Jedi's foundation would crumble. This was a tactic Sidious also employed, using the Council's authority to undermine the Republic. Plagueis' manuscript was densely annotated, with some sections revisited and expanded upon multiple times. These notes, though seemingly disorganized, offered a glimpse into Plagueis' thought process over the years, making them invaluable. Even a cursory examination of these manuscripts would be considered a grave offense among the Jedi, a fact Tang Xiao was acutely aware of. Through his study, Tang Xiao summarized Plagueis' research on the Force as a trinity: the infinite, the unifying Force, embodying infinite possibilities; the soul, the living Force, the essence and foundation of all life; and the spirit, the consciousness within the Force, reflecting the thoughts of all beings. Plagueis was convinced that by understanding these three aspects, he could unlock the secrets of life and the Force, thereby achieving the power to create life itself. Tang Xiao's heart raced as he delved into the ancient manuscript detailing Darth Plagueis's ambitious experiment. About a decade ago, Plagueis attempted to harness the essence of thousands of creatures across the galaxy, known as fibrils, through the resonance of the Force. His goal was to initiate a galactic wave, powerful enough to create a life form purely from the Force. Despite the grandeur of the experiment, it seemingly ended in failure. Darth Sidious, present at the time, alongside Plagueis, observed no immediate changes in the Force, leading them to conclude their efforts were in vain. Plagueis meticulously documented this outcome, cautious of attracting the Jedi Order's attention, thus never repeating the experiment. The timing of this experiment struck Tang Xiao profoundly. It coincided precisely with the birth of Anakin Skywalker, a child of no father, conceived miraculously by his mother, Shmi Skywalker. Anakin's fibril density, a staggering 20,000, far exceeded the threshold of 15,000, marking him as a being of pure force. This revelation supported the theory that Anakin's birth was a direct result of Plagueis's experiment, a notion both fascinating and terrifying. Despite the allure of this theory, Tang Xiao found it difficult to fully accept. The gap between Darth Plagueis's capabilities and the phenomenon that is Anakin Skywalker seemed insurmountable. Plagueis himself had explored the prophecy of the Chosen One, a topic deeply intertwined with the destinies of both the Jedi Order and the Sith. He dismissed the prophecy as mere observation of the Force's natural laws, akin to predicting the weather by studying air currents. In Plagueis's view, mastering the fibrils meant the prophecy and the Chosen One were merely obstacles to be overcome. This manuscript not only shed light on a pivotal moment in galactic history, but also laid the foundation for Tang Xiao's future. As the intended successor to Darth Plagueis, understanding and mastering the Force's intricacies was crucial. The concept of the Force, while complex, became a cornerstone of Tang Xiao's journey, promising to shape his destiny in ways unimaginable. Note 1, the term is of Greek origin, meaning boundless or infinite, signifying the limitless nature of the Force. Special thanks to General Kalani and the Southern soldiers for their insights, which greatly aided in clarifying this concept. P.S. Writing these chapters proved challenging, given the intricate details of the Force. Initially, I hesitated to delve too deeply into this topic, fearing it might overwhelm readers. However, after laying the groundwork over 300 chapters, I believe it's time to explore the Force from Darth Plagueis's perspective, providing a solid foundation for Tang Xiao's powers and his rightful place as Plagueis's heir.